Ladies and gentlemen, it is August 1st, 2019. Football's back tonight. College football's back in a couple weeks. The NFL is going to start cranking out games, and so is the collegiate football people, which I'm a part of now.
Yeah.
I just got back from a college football seminar with all the bigwigs from ESPN down there in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the man that we have on today is going to captivate you in a way that I don't think our show has ever done before.
I'd agree with that.
We have a heater of a show today.
Oh, yeah.
I got directly off a plane from Charlotte, came right into the studio. We started recording around 9:30. We're now at like 11 o'clock, 11:15. Didn't know how the show was going to go, to be honest. Didn't know how the show was going to go whenever I came in. It's been a long day. I've sat through seminars. I've learned a lot. Traveled a couple times. I mean, it's been a long day. And then we got in here, and our guest tonight is electric. Storyteller, real life, not only verbally, but he actually wrote a book that you're going to want to read afterwards, and I'm very thankful. And I enjoyed the hell out of my ESPN time, by the way. Enjoyed the hell out of it. You're going to hear all about it. I also enjoyed the hell out of my experience the first time I bought tickets from SeatGeek. Yeah. Because I used to buy tickets from other ticket buying platforms. And I'd buy a great ticket, I thought, and then I'd get it and I'd be, not even a real ticket.
Catfished.
Scammed.
Ticket fished.
Use one of those real estate cameras from the seat, made it look like it's better than it was.
Yeah, it was like what happened at our Airbnb down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
They had a 360 camera, made it look like we had 10,000 square feet. We had 10 square feet.
It was well lit in those photos.
Great lighting in those photos. And those tickets that those other ticket buying platforms sold me looked the part. But your friends at SeatGeek, they make sure you're not getting scammed. They make sure you're getting the best value for any ticket that is available because they scan all those other ticket buying platforms to make sure the best prices are available for you from your best friends in the ticket business, SeatGeek. And right now you use promo code PAT, you get $10 off. Promo code McAfee, you get $20 off. Let's go ahead and utilize some self-awareness. If we are wealthy, let's use the promo code PAT so we can keep that one going. If we're not rich yet, promo code McAfee, get $20 off. A lot of things to buy tickets to. There's some comedy shows you can go to, music, plays, theaters, and dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Football's back. Go to a game. Take a friend. Take a lot of friends. Take all your friends. Go alone. Doesn't matter. Go with family. Go to a football game. Enjoy it a little bit. You're alive, but are you living? Go live and experience something live. Ladies and gentlemen, this shit's about to get live real quick.
Now talk to me.
Oh, I think this is a lot better.
Yeah, man, get some of that.
Hey, you should hear your voice there, too. It's incredible.
Do I sound like the voice of God?
Yes. Yes, you
like
do.
Hillbilly God?
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me now is a man that's synonymous with everything that's awesome. The more and more research I do on this dude, the more and more I realize he's real life the most interesting man on earth. He has a hell of a Southern accent, which is going to throw you for a loop because once you start hearing his brain spew out of his mouth, it's nothing but magic. He was first with NASCAR on ESPN. Now he's with the college football ranks. He's all over the place. He'll do horse racing. He'll be swimming with Nick Saban. He'll talk to Ric Flair. And when he speaks at an ESPN College Football seminar, everybody stops what they're doing. It was an incredible thing for me to witness, and it's an incredible honor to have you on the show. Soon to be author, book, charts, topping. There's no way that's accurate. That's not how you're supposed to say that. You get it, though. Ladies and gentlemen, the handsome man who lives in North Carolina and author of Never Settle, Sports, Family, and the American Soul, coming out on Next Tuesday.
August 6th.
That I've gotten a chance to read a couple chapters of. Never read a book in my life. But when this guy sends a book with a nice personal message, and I got a chance to be on his show, I was like, I'll check it out. He told me a couple chapters to read. I read them. We'll talk about them in a little bit. The most interesting man on earth, Marty Smith.
I feel like I should do like 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
You know, that
I
started
will tell
with,
you,
first
of all, I'll say this off the top. I can't thank you guys enough for having me and for championing my book and me. It means so much to me what you said, brother. And one thing that I admire about you, I just said this to my agent. a little while ago, whom you know as well. And, you don't meet a whole lot of people in this world who genuinely know who they are. There's a whole lot of people who pretend that they do and who sort of they project this image that they want to project, but it's not authentic. And everything you do is authentic. And it's very rare to be around, and it's wonderful to be around.
I appreciate that so much. I think there are a lot of people that feel they got to be characters in this world, but I think this is also why you have succeeded so much, is because everybody has this utmost respect for you. I'm telling you, last night we were sitting around, there were some beers to be had. There were some very powerful people standing around us at my new place of employment. Very powerful individuals were there, people that make decisions, and they were all just staring with like their jaws dropped almost, listening to Marty talk. And I was like, this motherfucker is it. All right, so let's get
you're too kind. I think it must have just been the hair.
And we talked about that last night. I said, what do I got to do? What do I have to say to my barber to get your haircut? And you said?
Well, here's what you have to do. You go in there and you say, I would like to have a high fade with a number 2. And then I just want a full-blown faux hawk on the top. And what ends up occurring is your hair. Oh, whoops! I almost dropped the phone. You asked me if I could hold the thing for 30 minutes. I almost fumbled it after 3.
Ball security's job security.
You wind up looking like a soft serve ice cream cone by about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But nonetheless, it's just how I roll. And you would look. You want to talk about looking like a stud now.
I know, dude.
You get that action.
Hey, they put
Settle down, ladies.
They put makeup on me today. I've never looked this good in my life. I mean, those makeup people were top of the line. It was an incredible.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yes.
They take this and they make it look acceptable for America in high definition. That is a challenge, and thank God for them, because we'd be scaring the hell out of everybody.
Marty, for the people who might have never heard of you, I have no idea how, but let's just say there's somebody that never heard of you. What would you say, like, what would be a great way to say, hey, this is who Marty Smith is? Because it seems like you've really, and I told this to the guys before we went on, he has this southern accent, but he's like philosophical when he talks, and he's very intelligent, but he's got that draw that makes you think like, oh, he's supposed to be a little bit dumber, but he's not. He's smarter than you are, and he's cool with everybody. How did this world become to be? Like, is this what you always thought you were going to do? I couldn't fathom that being an accurate statement.
No, man, I grew up on a cattle farm in Appalachia in southwest Virginia, about 20 miles west of Virginia Tech's campus. And I had these wild, fantastic dreams that I was going to go play point guard for Mike Krzyzewski or play quarterback for Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech. And the problem with that was athletic ability. But I just never allowed myself to consider anything out of reach. And there's such a naivety in that, but it has served me so well, because that, coupled with those fantastic dreams, were people who did believe in me, believed in my approach, and when all of that melded together, when any doors of opportunity for me were even cracked to the remotest degree, I kicked the sumbitches down. And it's just, look, my blessings are so rich. And at this point in my life, I've made mistakes. I've hurt people. There's things I want back, but I've been afforded this grace that has, at this point, resulted in what I believe to be the best version of myself. It's someone who's empathetic and someone who tries to be kind and work really hard and champion other people and love his wife and be a good father and a great friend. And I hope that's a decent way to describe me.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And obviously you would know better than me, but it seems as if that's the case. You come in with NASCAR, with ESPN. That's kind of, I think, how you got your big break. Then NASCAR goes to Fox. ESPN and Fox were thinking about trading you to another network, which is insanity, because you were like the voice of NASCAR at the time.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know you could. Did you know we could be traded? I get this phone message at my house in Charlotte And it's an executive, and they're like, hey, man, you're going to see some things on the internet. Don't believe it. None of it's true. And I was like, damn, what did I do? And ultimately, my agent called, and he's like, look, man, there's some moving parts going on. Don't worry. You're going to be fine. And then I find out later in an article that there was some discussion, I guess. It was never – like no one ever came to me about it. But I guess that the deal was – it was going to be Katie Nolan, who at the time was at Fox, traded for Ian Dark, the great soccer play-by-play guy, and they're going to just throw me in as like collateral damage. Like, hey, we just take this hillbilly over here and put him on the
a pick to be named
Yeah,
later.
he's a conditional draft.
Exactly. That's what I was.
Conditional
I was the
draft.
pick to be named later. I was the guy that was the famous person and others.
ESPN held on to you, though. I guess.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, you said that last night. You were like so happy. You're thankful that ESPN held on to you. Is it because you got moved into college football and this is like your heaven?
Like, think about this. Think about how rare it is for a sports-centric reporter. All that I had ever covered in my professional life for 17 years at the time was auto racing, and I loved it, and I had tremendous passion for it, and I still do. But when you're that ingrained in a certain culture, especially one like NASCAR that's kind of its own thing, right?
Yeah.
For the executive level at ESPN, Lee Fitting, who you and I just were with him for the past couple of days at the ESPN College Football Seminar in Charlotte, for him and John Wildhack, who is now the athletic director at Syracuse, who at the time was one of the highest-ranking officials at ESPN, for them to say, we believe in your approach, and we think that your approach belongs in college football, was not only shocking, but it's the rarest of occurrences. Let me tell you a quick story. I come home from the final NASCAR race of 2014 in Miami, Florida, and I had been gone. For all intents and purposes, Lainey, my wife, who is an angel from the heavens,
Amen,
had basically been a single mom for about 5 months because NASCAR is an unrelenting grind. And we, ESPN, had the second half of the NASCAR season, the final 20 races of the year. And so I had those races. And that's a 5-day-a-week prospect when you're a reporter in NASCAR. We had 8-5-2 at home. I come home on November 17th, 2014. I walk in the door, and my poor wife has tears in her eyes. She says, Martin, I need you home, honey. I need you here. I need you to be present. And we're insecure. Men are insecure about those things. We're very insecure. And so initially I was like, I'm out here trying to do this, and that's such a self-absorbed reaction. But I told her, don't worry. I've signed this new ESPN contract. I don't even know what I'm doing yet, but I'm not doing it until January 1st, 2015. God is my witness, boys. I sit down on the couch. We put our older two in the car to take them to school. I sit down on my couch. I opened up my email, and there's an email there from Lee Fitting, who made College Game Day. He took a really good studio show and made it an American institution that is as important in many cases as the games themselves to the college football fabric in this country.
Huge show. Learned a lot about it these past couple of days. It is an animal of a show. It is awesome.
It is, man. It is the standard by which all others are measured, period, in the paragraph.
And the numbers, by the way, also very awesome. That show, for how long it is, that show is doing it, I think is a good word to describe it. I learned that. But anyways, that's his baby.
There are so many reasons that it's doing it. It's amazing leadership. It's crazy talent on the panel with Reese, Kirk, Dez, Coach, Pollock, Maria, etc. Gene Wojciechowski, Tom Rinaldi, great storytellers. They have it all. And chemistry, which is this unteachable X factor that can take good to transcendent. And they have that. And so anyway, I'm sitting here on the couch and I open up this email. My 2-year-old daughter Vivian's playing in the floor, and there's an email there from Lee. And it says, hey man, start studying college football because I'm going to make you one of the 4 reporters that I embed with the actual schools that qualify for the inaugural college football playoff. And it may as well have been written in like some sort of Sanskrit, because I'm like, wait, what? And I hold my phone out and I look back at it and I'm like, oh my God, I knew it. Right then and there, fellas, I knew this is a treasure map. This is a treasure map, because if I follow the directions and I'm willing to dig deep enough to go get it, there are going to be riches beyond my wildest dreams when I find that X. And I don't mean financial riches. I mean life experiences. And I called my wife right then, and she answered the phone, "Where are they sending you?" And I said to her, I said, "Honey, I don't know how to tell you this. I've been directed to study college football, and I'm going to be a part of the inaugural college football playoff. This is one of the largest initiatives in ESPN history. I know I can't articulate to you right now what this means, but if you will trust me, it's going to change our lives." And God is so good.
Who'd you go with?
He did.
Who'd you go with?
The Ohio State Buckeyes, who, by the way, won the national championship.
The Marty bump.
Dude, I got another great story about that.
Hell yeah. That's all we got here.
So they dropped me in Columbus, Ohio like an alien from Mars. I am this country boy.
What are you
NASCAR
wearing?
guy.
What are you wearing? Are you wearing like shit kickers, or are you like dressed up in a suit?
Yeah, I love cowboy. I mean, I'm a sneakerhead, big time Jordan guy.
I saw those last night.
But,
they were nice.
Yeah, man, I'm a big Jays guy. But I had on some cowboy boots and some jeans, and I had on what I thought at the time were nice suits, but I was incorrect. And I've upped my suit game quite a bit. But so I'm in there, and I'm there for a couple days, and I made the decision I'm going to report what I see and what I find to be interesting about the program. I'm not going inside baseball on this because I just didn't know. I hadn't been around. I didn't have the contacts and the relationships, and college football fans know a fraud when they see it.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Let's go Mountaineers, right?
Hey, no homers, bro. No homers. Take it easy.
But actually, you know what? Check it out. Look what I'm wearing.
Hey! Did Huggy send you that? Did Huggins send you that?
One of my best buddies in all of college sports is Steve Beer. He was until very recently, Huggy Bear's equipment guy with the basketball program.
Oh, I think I follow him on the Twitter, I think.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal human being. He's now moved to Nashville because he's getting married, and his future wife is a real big wheel at one of the Nashville record labels, and so she wins. So I am
Attaboy, Steve.
I'm in Columbus. Yeah, right. No doubt. I'm in Columbus, and on day 3, the sports information director comes over, and he's like, "Hey, Marty, you should probably meet Urban." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, hell, I guess I should meet Urban." So we go into Coach Meyer's office, and I shake his hand, and I say hello, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm not going to get in your way. I'm going to report what I see. I'm not going to be a nuisance, whatever." He goes, "Man, hey, if you need anything, ask Jerry. If it's important enough, he'll bring it to me. We'll figure it out." "All right, awesome. Thank you, sir." That's it. They end up winning the national championship. I'm with them for this entire ride. Here's where the story gets good. Fast forward one full year to the Clemson-Bama 1 national championship in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Coach Meyer, Hugh Freeze, and Brian Kelly are guest analysts for College Game Day at the national championship. I am, and we have this workroom in the University of Phoenix Stadium. I think it's now something else, State Farm or somebody else sponsors the stadium now. Anyway, that's an aside. Yeah. I am running in and out, doing all these live shots for all these different shows about the national championship. I come in from one live shot, I get grabbed around the shoulders. I look up, and it's Coach Meyer. He goes, "I need to talk to you." And I'm like, oh Lord, okay, what's up, man? I can talk right now. He goes, "No, I can see you're thrashing. When you're done, just come over here. I'll be sitting right over there. Just come talk to me." "Yes, sir." I finish up. I walk around this couch. I take a knee like I'm in a hurry. Take a knee right beside Coach Meyer. And I said, "Hey, man, what'd you need?" He goes, "I feel like I need to tell you something." And I went, "All right." He said, "You remember when we met?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do very well. You were very, very kind to me. You gave me time and attention I hadn't earned and didn't deserve, and I appreciate that." He goes, "Can I tell you what I was thinking?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "Oregon gets Samantha Ponder. Florida State gets Tom Rinaldi. Alabama gets Kaylee Hartung. And they send us this bumpkin from That's what they think of us?" And I didn't know whether to laugh, cry. I didn't know what to do. And
You
so
laughed,
he gets
right?
this grin on his face. So I start laughing. And he goes, "I want to say one last thing. It took me 3 days. I knew in 3 days that you were the guy for that team at that time." And I said, "How?" He said, "Because we were underdogs. Nobody thought we'd win. And you were an underdog, too." How about that? Pretty cool.
One's a national treasure, the other a national champ. So that's a pretty good little run there. Only getting started. His southern draw is beautiful. This is a beautiful man. I'm telling you, he's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Speaking of beautiful things, sleeping with the comfort of security is a beautiful thing.
It is.
A recent Gallup survey shows Americans worry more about burglary than almost any other crime. Almost any other crime.
Almost.
It's up there. More than mugging, more than terrorism,
Arsonist.
and car theft and murder, people worry about burglary. According to studies, just over 10% of break-ins are planned beforehand. The rest are spur of the moment, crimes of opportunity. In other words, very random things that pop up out of nowhere. Did you know most break-ins happen between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.? In the middle of the day? According to the FBI, the average loss in a burglary is over $2,000 that can be hard to recover from. There are over 2 million burglaries reported every single year. That's one every 13 seconds. You can count that out in your head, or you can just know that that is very often. And there's one way to go ahead and stop them right in their tracks. As soon as you put a Simply Safe security system in your house, it's on, it's over, and your life is much more secure. Not only do they see the cameras that are going to be viewing them breaking in and making sure they get caught doing whatever they're doing, which is a natural deterrent. Burglars make a very dumb living, but they're normally not dumb humans. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Smart.
You see a camera that's on that Simply Safe sends you that is very easy to set up. Numerous cameras, by the way. So you got all places. They see the camera, they're probably going to go elsewhere. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to see them too. Because what the Simply Safe camera does is anytime there's any movement or anything going on, it turns on and you just go into your app. Very simple, and you can see everything. They are faster to the draw in calling help for help because they have video evidence of everything. Simply Safe has revolutionized the complete home security business. I paid a lot of money for my first home security because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. Big house, I got hustled by people to do this, this, and this. And all I've done is rip it all out of my house and put in Simply Safe cameras that are easy to assemble, easy to set up, and easy to use through their app. Shout out to Simply Safe for locking down this office and everybody's house. You should do it now. Visit simplysafe.com/McAfee. You'll get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. 60 days. Just, let's see how it goes.
That's a long time to figure out whether you like it.
It really is.
It's a sixth of a year.
Yeah.
You've got nothing to lose. Go now and be sure you go to simplysafe.com/McAfee so they know that this show sent you. That's simplysafe.com/McAfee. Zito uses a Simply Safe camera as just an alternative camera in this office.
Yeah.
It catches everything we do. Evan Foxy, Yam, Yoke, flushes one home. We look around. Oh, that Simply Safe camera's on. Let's rip it from there. It's nice. So catch some cool shit in your house.
Yep.
Catch bad shit coming into your house.
Yep.
Simplysafe.com.
Evan's whole highlight film is basically off Simply Safe.
Yeah, it's facts. I mean, when you got to give and go, you got to flush that thing.
Hey, high def too.
Very high.
Very
def.
nice.
And it's very affordable. It's very, very, very affordable. Like, I'm trying to find the exact number. It's not on here, but it's
I think I pay $15 a month.
$15 a month. 50 cents a day. You can save a child in Africa, or you can do that and for another 50 cents a day.
Yep.
Peace of mind. You can't really put a price on that.
Unbelievable. It's
But if you
priceless.
could, $15 pretty fair.
Bro, 50 cents a day. Anyways, I'm going to save up some cents to buy this guy's book. Let's get back to it. Let's talk about that college football seminar we were just at. Can we? I don't know. You're there.
Of course we can.
You've been there a lot longer. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about. It was
No,
like
do it. Bring it.
It was like a training camp. It was really like a training camp. Lee Fitting, the man he mentioned, which I'm happy you mentioned him first. And where the fuck are you? You were in the
I'm in
middle.
Starbucks. Let me tell you why.
Somebody's hammering something. Are they lifting at Starbucks?
Dude,
right?
welcome to Marty Smith, dude. This is it right here. It's a complete train derailment all the time. So we have this. Lainey and I our family is so blessed. We have this nice house right a mile from where I'm sitting at Lake Norman, North Carolina. I could look out my back porch at my dock, the whole thing.
Oh.
However, we went to we have a place in South Jersey where my wife is from, and we spend some time there every summer. That's where my family is right now. Unbeknownst to me, until about 30 minutes ago, my wife turned off our internet. So that's why you hear them hammering things in the background of the Starbucks, gentlemen.
Free internet. You had to go. I need free internet.
Yes, I did. I had to sign in and put my log in and all that.
I appreciate you doing that. Hey, I just want to let you know I appreciate you doing that. Anyways, the man that you mentioned, I'm happy you did, so it didn't slip out of my mouth. I need not be losing any friends over there yet. But Lee Fitting is the guy. Okay?
Yes, he is
He
the guy.
is the guy. I got a chance to meet him whenever I first took my trip up to ESPN. There's just a gentleman of a dude, really, honestly. But I didn't know he was the guy. And I didn't even know where I was going, by the way. I signed my deal 17 hours before this thing started, and they just said I'm going to be on a plane to Charlotte.
You did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro, when we made that announcement, it's like basically when it happened. I mean, yeah.
I had no idea.
So whenever I showed up at this seminar, okay, 1 o'clock is when it starts. I flew out in the morning. 12 to 1 is lunch. So I flew out. I got there like 10:30. Went and checked into my room. Had to go get hairspray from Target. Went back to my room. Got down there at like 12:30 to get some lunch. I walk into the cafeteria. It's like I'm the new kid at the high school. It literally is. Every table's filled. And nobody's even everybody's having their own conversation. So I literally looked around. I was like, well, I ain't fucking doing this for sure. I am too old to be doing this bullshit. So I got a cup of tea, and I went and sat out in the lobby all by myself, okay? So I go sit out in the lobby where everybody's checking in. Hasselbeck shows up at like 45. He comes in, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, look in there. I don't know anybody in there. I literally know everybody. He's like, everybody knows you, though. I was like, even worse. Even worse. So Hasselbeck and I go in there at 12:52 because he's talking. His brother, by the way, who I met for the first time, they are the same individual. They are the same person. I've never met him face to face. I've only seen him on TV. They look the exact same, and he is the exact same person as Matt is.
And for the record, they're both wonderful dudes.
And hilarious.
Yeah.
And very funny. Yeah, they're funny.
They're wonderful and hilarious. So I'm having this conversation with the Hasselbecks outside. We go in to get food. There's no forks left. There was nothing left. All the silver, because we only had 4 or 5 minutes before we had to get in there. So I used a butter knife. I used a butter knife to get like a couple of the steaks that were left in there and a couple of the fish. And I'm just like shoveling it in my mouth. Hasselbeck sitting there. And now it's 12:57. So we're the only people in the cafeteria now. Me and the Hasselbecks are the only people in the cafeteria. So then we walk over to where the room is. And as soon as I walk in, somebody I've never met before, who now I know is a very incredible person, named Lindsay, just hands me a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
She hands me a microphone, right? I don't even know where I'm at. Literally have no clue what we're at right now. I don't even know what it is. I just know that my broadcast crew is there, so I know we're hanging out, but I have no idea what this is. I walked into this room. There's like 400 people in the room. I'm like, holy shit, what am I at right now? This lady, it's 1 minute before it starts. We're the last people in the room. You never want to be the last people in the room. We are the last people in the room. And then this lady just hands me a microphone. She goes, we were wondering if you could be voice of God and get everybody in their seats. And I was like, excuse me? She was like, yeah, we were wondering if you could do that. I was like, yeah, where are we right now? She must have thought I was on so many drugs. I was like, no, what's this called? She was like, it's the college football seminar. We do this every year. I'm like, okay, thank you. And then, so I start hitting the microphone, right? Voice of God. I'll just do this from the back of the room. I start hitting it to see if it's on. And there's nothing. It's not. I'm like, it's not on. They're like, oh, you got to go up to the front. I'm like, are you kidding me? I know none of these people. So I walk up to the front of the room, and they go, you're good. And I go, all right, well.
It was very funny. It was very funny. You did a good job. And he won. Like, look, I knew Pat because I had him on my podcast, and we had met each other at the Indianapolis 500 several years ago. And he's up there doing his thing. And I'm like, the man is like a rookie. And they're bringing him in here to be the voice of God. And then he just dropped the F-bomb. The second he dropped the F-bomb, everybody went, oh, shit, this is real.
So I was reading the room, right? They're the ones that did this to me, right? They're the ones that put me up there. They just wanted everybody to stop talking to each other because it's like a reunion. This college football seminar is like a reunion because nobody will see each other again because they all go their separate
First day of
ways.
school.
No, well, they all go their separate ways.
First day and last day.
So it's a first and last. They're literally, this is just like their day to meet with other producers, directors, analysts, because everybody just goes their own certain way. They're on the road. It's like a circus, it's a traveling circus. So it's like a reunion. So when all 400 people got in that room that we were all laid into, basically, they're all talking like as if it's like a high school dance. Like everybody's just bullshitting. And they're like, oh, if you can get everybody to sit down. I'm like, oh, I don't know. All right, here we go. I only know one speed, by the way, if we're going to do this. So Dan Orlovsky's sitting in like the front row. He goes, what are you doing? I was like, I have no idea, Dan. I have no idea. And then they turned my mic on. Like less than 2 seconds after I told Dan, I have no idea. And I went right into, ladies and gentlemen, just right into it. And I was reading the room for like the first 2 sentences. There were people in the back of the room that as soon as they heard me, they did like this slow turn. And they're like, what is this? And I was looking around the room and my first 2 sentences, Steve Levy gave me like a couple pops in like my first 2 sentences. I was like, he's a pretty OG in this whole thing. I mean, if he's laughing.
He's a real OG.
Yeah, I was like, if he's laughing, we're good. And I looked to my left, and there's another man named Steve who's pretty important. He was laughing. So
He's very important.
Very important. That guy also very important. He was front row to the left. He was laughing. So when I saw Steve laughing, when I saw Steve and Steve laughing, I was like, you know what? I think this room's on my side. So I said the 2019 college football seminar, whenever we're all said and done, is going to be the best motherfucking college football seminar in the history.
He totally did. It was world class.
And then literally as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, aggressive decision, Pat. Aggressive decision. It got scattering.
I was going to say how the room reacts.
Scattering laughs. Scattering laughs. It wasn't for every...
They didn't know how to react because while this is a great reunion for this tremendous group of broadcasters.
Tremendous.
I mean, it's a who's who.
It really was.
Of sports broadcasting excellence. And I'm not saying that trying to be a homer or be cool. But when you're in the same room with Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit and Steve Levy and all of these guys that are you see them every day on air.
Everybody was. Greasy was there. Fucking Greasy. I had a moment. Everybody.
And Pat just goes, sit the fuck down.
I said, I'm looking around, I'm seeing a lot of celebrities right now. This is a wild scene for me. And then when everybody sat down, I would end it with, all right. That was literally my job, to get you guys to sit down. Hope you guys have a great day. And I walked off. The first one got a clap. Second one got a clap. Third one, only Hasselbeck clapped. Which is good. Good for the team. Good for the team. Those are long days, though. I learned so much out there.
So did I. I learn every year. But I'm going to tell you what was the most impactful part for me was when the general was up there today. And you have the opportunity to see and learn and hear from a decorated war veteran, a decorated leader of this country who actually told us today that he led 239,000 troops.
International troops, not just American. They were.
Yeah,
it was
international.
in Iraq. The Saddam Hussein. He was the one in charge of the Saddam Hussein captured. You get it?
Yeah,
Nice.
He was the guy.
And it makes you feel so inconsequential. It makes you feel so small when you're in the presence of someone like that who has such tremendous perspective, and someone like Tom Rinaldi was up there interviewing him, and someone like Tom who has this innate natural ability to open people up that way. And I was floored by his testimony. And then you follow that up with Ryan Leaf's testimony and everything Ryan's been through and how he's come out the other side and has this second lease on an opportunity in life. He had tried his ass off to throw it all away.
Basically what he said, by the way. That's basically what he said. That's basically what he said.
He says to it, the first thing he says to us when he gets up on the stage, guys, 5 years ago today I was in prison. And you see who he is now with this tremendous humility and this tremendous perspective and so much appreciation for coming out the other side. It's awesome. And then we learn a whole lot about like what targeting is and stuff.
I was about to say, yeah, we got this general, okay, who led the Saddam Hussein attack, pretty big, pretty large. Like texted with the president, I think, a couple times. Condoleezza Rice. I mean, this guy, a big deal. There's a lot of name dropping in this thing. He's real life. I mean, he's 40 years in the Army. 40 years in the Army. 40 years in the Army.
Was it Schwarzkopf?
No,
it was a Paisan.
Oh, nice for us.
It was a Paisan.
If I wasn't on FaceTime with you guys, I could finagle my phone because not only did I put his name in my phone, but I took down all these different quotes he said. Did you take any pictures?
That's professional. That's a professional move, Marty.
Hold on. I think I got his name. General Ray Odierno.
There you go.
He likes to have a diversity of opinions around him when making a decision.
Yeah.
That was a great quote.
I respect that.
I wrote that down. I was like, diversity of opinions. That was like a great way to say, like, I want to hear what every motherfucker in here is going to say. I respect it so much. And that
thereby gives you a sample of what the general consensus might be.
Yeah.
That's what leaders do. Great leaders have the ability to delegate. Great leaders have the ability to listen to the people that they employ to be that level of voice in their ear and their conscience. And I asked him today, one thing I wanted to know was, when you are in charge of so many people and so many landmark, honest to God, life and death decisions on a daily basis, when you get back to the rack and you're looking in the mirror, brushing your teeth at night, what is your message to yourself?
Oh yeah.
What is that self-accountability? And I loved his answer. It's, am I making the decision that's right?
For the team.
Am I making the decision that's right for the people in my stead? And hell yes, America, man.
Dude, he talked about how he had this idea on how to, I guess, kind of end the things that were going on over there. He had this plan. And the guy that was in charge of him at the time did not agree with it. So he was like, they took it to that guy's boss. And they were in the room, I guess. Is that the fucking president, by the way?
I think it was the Secretary of Defense. I think that he was a 3-star general at that time. He took it to the 4-star general above him. And then I think it was the Secretary of Defense above that. So I don't know that to be accurate, but I think so.
Yeah.
Hell, it might have been the president. I don't know.
Because when he said that, I was like, I mean, I don't know how many more people are above you, bud. If you're pitching the idea that you're saying to us right now, I don't know how many people can just pull it. If this isn't a game of Risk, I'm not sure how many people above you, buddy. So he talked about this story basically where he was like sitting at this person's desk, pitching them his idea while his boss did not agree with it. And then 2 days later, they went with his idea. And it started off rocky. He said it started off not great. And then he even chimed in with, which is what I predicted could happen.
There you go.
He said, I predicted it could happen. He said then he saw success on the other side of it. And he talked about how it was like a cool moment for him and his team, how that was like a big thing, like because he had to pitch literally over his boss to somebody else. And then I think Condoleezza Rice even called him and said, I don't agree with your strategy. Prove me wrong, or something like that. Or convince me, she said. Convince me. And they had like an hour conversation where he's like, well, this is what I think we should do to get out of the Iraq war. That is a wild scene to think about. We're calling football games.
Our analysis of Oregon's offense, not quite the same thing.
And so, anyways, I was going to say this about the Lee Fitting and how it was like training camp. He gets up at the beginning of this thing, and it's just like a head coach leading off training camp. Here's the goals for the year. Here's how we're going to accomplish it. He had a slideshow. Everybody had this slideshow. It was this big conference, and it was just like really cool. Like that was the first time where I was in a group. I was like, oh shit, okay, so this is like we're really going for it here. And they started putting up numbers. Like the Grammys got this, the Super Bowl got this, we get this, and it was like, oh shit, I'm in the middle of some big time stuff right here. And then they started talking about college football and the Seminar Feud, and I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing about anything. And I was like,
it's hard to remember who finished as a Heisman runner-up 4 years ago.
how am
That's
I
not an
supposed
easy
to
thing
know
to do.
that? How am I supposed to know that, Martin?
Yeah. Well, I think. What did you see? How many of them we got? Like 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Out of the it wasn't just you and me, bro. It was everybody there, and we're supposed to be the 4. We're supposed to be the foremost authority on such.
Okay, let's talk about this book because I've got a couple chapters down. The boys got a couple chapters down as well.
What y'all think?
Well, Ty read the chapter 4 you told me about, right? He cried.
Yeah, it made me cry.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
She was. So the chapter that the fellas read, was about someone who had just an indelible influence on my life. I was covering the Special Olympics World Games in 2015, and my job was to embed myself with the U.S. athletes and learn some stories so that I could share those stories on the globally broadcast opening ceremony, which is a 3.5-hour live broadcast. And I'm walking around in the track stadium at UC Riverside, and it is a buzz, just like on fire with excitement, because these are athletes who've been told, you can't, you're not good enough, you'll never, their whole lives. And guess what? They were.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And so there was all of this joy in the air. And then I met an athlete named Olivia Quigley, and I will tell you, I would love to tell this story, but I want them to read it.
It's a great tale. Basically, she's unbelievable.
Yeah. I will say this. She was a global movement as someone who was autistic and just had such an unbelievable influence on me and my worldview. I carry her with me every day.
And you meant a lot to her as well, which I think if you read the book, we'll find out. And I think this is the interesting thing about you. Is it your curiosity that kind of leads you into all of these friendships that seem to be outrageous? You Google Marty Smith, a story that'll pop up is you swimming at Nick Saban's house, all right? A story that'll pop up is you hanging out with Ric Flair. A story that'll pop up is that you're friends with Tim Tebow, basically. These stories are outlandish. And then you hear about the stories in the book. It's just like, I think that's just you. Your curiosity kind of leads you into these situations where, because you're such an incredible dude, you win people over quick because you're genuine and you're awesome. And then you build these friendships that are just next level. And I think you help out them more than they help out you. I think that is something that I got that I got out of the book.
That's extremely kind. Thank you. I do take it very seriously. I enjoy more than anything else in this job having the opportunity to strip some veneers, having the opportunity to show you a level of depth or vulnerability about someone that you may not have known before. And I also love the opportunity for them to feel fulfilled by whatever that is, whether that's some of the stories in the book are, you said Tim Tebow. He's such an inspirational person to me, and the impact he's had on my life is insane. That's in there. Michael Vick, all right, I grew up 20 miles west of Virginia Tech. That dude's the greatest Hokie of all time. He rewrote football. And then the dogfighting thing happened. And he went to prison for 23 months. And during his stay in prison, he did not run or play basketball or lift weights to satiate his competitive drive. He learned how to play chess. It became his passion. And I got the opportunity to go to Hollywood, Florida, and sit on a beach with Michael Vick and play chess against Michael Vick and learn what it was like in that prison.
Who won?
And he beat my ass. and look, man, I'm a nerd, dude. I was on the Giles High School chess team back in the mid-'90s, early 90s. I felt like I was a pretty good chess player, man. So I had the strategy down. Michael Vick mopped the floor with me, dude.
Well, football for him was not a lot of game playing. It was literally chess. He was the queen too. He could fucking go wherever he wanted. So that's how he played chess. Like, all right, this is me. That's what when he learned how to play chess, they were literally explaining to him, and somebody was like, all right, queen, that's you. Go wherever the fuck you want. Just pawn his offensive lineman right here. And he's literally just slicing and dicing humans on chess. Yes. That would be incredible.
He captivates me so much because of what he was as a player, how his mistakes, how he had to pay for those mistakes, and what in the person he is in the aftermath of those mistakes. And all of that is in this book. Brandon Marshall. I don't know if you've met Brandon. Just an unbelievable human being, but he had to learn who he was. He had to go to an outpatient program at McLean Hospital and learn that he had borderline personality disorder.
So it seems as if, and by the way, he's done a lot of great work for mental health and everything like that.
He's the man.
Yes, you love a good redemption story.
I do, more than you could ever imagine. I appreciate people who take ownership of things they had to fix. They fixed them, and then not only did they improve their own lives, they made the decision to improve more.
That's awesome.
And that's what Brandon's doing. That's what Michael's doing.
Ryan Leaf.
That's what I could go on and on. But those are just a couple of the stories in there that I had the great opportunity to tell. And here's kind of the bottom line on this book, brother. I consider us all to be pieces of clay, okay? And every acquaintance in your life, every relationship in your life, every triumph, every failure, every crushing blow, every euphoric moment of joy, pinch at that clay. Some of those moments may just take a little tiny bit. Some may just rip out a whole rib. But what they all do is they reshape the person that you are and who you're going to be moving forward. My new relationship with you is very inspiring to me because of what I said earlier. You don't give a shit about what someone else may perceive. You are you. And I've only met a select handful of human beings that are that self-confident. I believe that self-confidence and humility walk hand in hand. I think that insecurity and cockiness walk hand in hand.
Oh, shit. That's a really good quote, by the way. I think you're right, too.
That's the way that's what I've experienced in my life. And I just got the great opportunity to share some of these stories in a book that my publisher believed. So many people believed in me, and I just hope it impacts one or two lives in a positive way.
Okay. And listen, we've only read a couple chapters, and we had people crying, and we had people determined to do things. I mean, it's a great. Hey, you got a really good book here, and I'm looking at the front of it. Eric Church,
incredible move.
Ever heard of him? Wrote the foreword for this guy.
He's my best friend, man.
Best friend.
It's your best friend?
He's my best friend. Yeah.
I like that he always wears glasses. It makes me think he's either high or drunk all the time, and I appreciate that.
There are very few people in my life who have inspired me to the degree he has. And the story that he wrote in the foreword of the book meant more to me than I could ever articulate. It made me belly laugh, and it made me ugly cry, because it encapsulates our friendship more beautifully than I think I ever could. He and I have experienced the most euphoric of highs, and we have experienced the most guttural, crushing lows together. And we have walked through that hell together. And I adore him.
That's awesome.
I do. He is a very, very special human being.
Talented guy, too, just like you. I assume that's why you guys hang out. But with that being said, speaking of talent, the Eric Church thing is very awesome. I mean, that's a.
Is that a power move, fellas?
Yeah.
Oh, forward by Eric Church. But what I was going to say is, there's no other names on this book other than Marty Smith and Eric Church. You actually wrote this thing. It's not like you had
every single word.
So you didn't have a. Now listen,
No.
This is something people have pitched me books a lot. They're like, this is what'll happen. We'll come in, we'll sit down, I'll interview you for like 3-4 hours. I'll go write a part. I'll come back another 3-4 hours. I'll write a part, another 3-4 hours. Then you have to read through the whole thing and correct my mistakes. I was like, I'd rather just write it my fucking self than do what you just said right there. But that's how, like, 4 different people would pitch me that, right? 4 different authors. And I think that's how most people do their books. Here, you wrote this book, every single word. That's awesome. That is absolutely incredible. How was that process?
Thank you. It was liberating. I am a writer by trade. That's what I studied in college. It was my profession for the first 7 years of my career, professional career, before I fell into television. And so the very first day I sat across from my publisher, 12 Books out of New York City, they broached that. Who do you think you might want to write this book? And I looked over at my agent, and I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm writing this damn thing. And fortunately, Dave Larrabell, who is the book agent for CAA, who helped me put this together, he looked at Sean Desmond, the publisher, and said, line by line, this guy's as good as you'll read. And that was a great endorsement by Dave. So I went to work, and I was just stupid enough to think I could write it during football season. I like to be a present father. I like to be a present husband. I like to be immersed in my family's day-to-day. So I thought, okay, airports and hotel rooms, I won't have that distraction.
Easy.
I'll be the last damn thing you want to do after a college football game is go write a book. But I will tell you, gentlemen, I managed to pull it off. In fact, I left the national championship game in Santa Clara, California, the morning of January 8th, 2019, flew home, kissed my family, got back on another airplane and flew to Manhattan and holed myself up in the publisher's office for 6 days so that I could finish it on deadline. And here's the thing about writing.
Hold on. You hold yourself up in there, okay? I'm imagining a beautiful mind where there's just like, it's like
giving me too much damn credit.
No, but I'm thinking there's like trash on the floor, scribble it up, do it again, like pieces of paper like thrown down. I'm thinking like there's maybe some empty drinks around. It's just like you're like locked in like a mad scientist, like you're not going to leave until this thing's done. Is that accurate?
Yes, to a degree it is.
That's hilarious.
I will say to you, the creative process is an interesting one. Some people will go to their cabin to write their record. Some people will go to. I'm fascinated by songwriters.
Me too.
I actually have a song that I wrote in those pages.
Right in here.
Yeah, right in those pages.
All
It's
right.
called Out Like That, and it actually was. I was inspired by. Remember when Marcel Darius blew up Colt McCoy in the 2009 BCS national championship game?
Oh yeah.
He had like a numb thing happen to him. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
It was inspired by that moment.
Really?
The song was, yeah.
How does that work out? What do you mean?
Because I was texting with Eric, actually, and I said, hey, man, you ain't supposed to go out like that. And he's like, dude, that's a song. And so I just started kind of putting thought processes together, and all of these people who did not go out the way they should have. Jesse James deserved to face that gun. Number 3 deserved one more race won. Those towers in New York deserved to stand. Lane Frost deserved one last go. Cobain deserved one last show. I deserved one last day with my old man.
Oh!
It's got chills.
Yeah. Read it. It's all in there.
That number 3 line.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, I got a little choked up in there, man.
Yeah. It's just, like I'm just fascinated by great writing. And so the creative process can be interesting. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot. I almost dropped you. You still there? My bad. So a second fumble. Golly, man. I'm like,
That's right.
Ernest Biner. Was it Ernest Biner that fumbled at the goal line?
Yeah, but you got to remember, they only have the ball for like 6 seconds at a time. So hour in, that's like 100 fucking carries. You have 2 fumbles and 100 carries. That's not terrible. You know what I mean? We can get you into the pros with that. It's not
There are
bad.
times when I had to find a vulnerability in myself that I went and got some Jack, and I wrote based on the because you lose your inhibitions that way, and I can see why Hemingway liked whiskey. But not that I'm comparing myself to that in any shape.
Just your methods.
Yes.
Yeah, got it. So you finish that thing on deadline with an impossible schedule. I mean, Marty, I consider you a rather intelligent man, right? A lot of things
Thank you.
come out of your mouth are very depth. Thinking you're just going to write it hand in hand with a football season is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life.
It's so stupid.
Stupid. I mean, hindsight, I guess, is 20/20 here, but in my head, I'd be like, no way am I going to. I always assumed it would be a long process. You said you knocked it out in how long?
7 months.
Let's go. That's
and
awesome.
It was on and off. I went 3 full weeks. Actually, I mean, I guess, truth told, it was more like 6 months because I had this 3-week period where I was very busy with ESPN and I wasn't in that creative mindset. And so I just couldn't. I called my publisher and I'm like, man, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if I can meet the deadline you need me to meet. And he's so smart. Sean is a very smart man. Just give me 300 words here, 300 words there. When you feel inspired, put something on paper. You're going to do it. He was a great coach. He really was.
That's awesome. What do you think? No, I'm reading the back of the book now.
Attaboy.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Downer, okay, son of 3 there that he talked about. Jim Harbaugh.
Okay.
These are all people writing little
Endorsements.
Michelle Wee, professional golfer. Michelle Wee, whenever you think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to be a part of something, you immediately think Michelle Wee is going to be a part of something. That's the diversity of it's next level. And then Tom Rinaldi, which very similar to Jim Harbaugh type of human. But that is the type of, you relate to everybody, man. You literally relate to everybody, let alone Eric Church being there. I'm excited to see the reaction to this book, man. I think it's going to be awesome. I have not read it all. I will not say I've read it all, but the parts that I've read, and remember, I didn't even read the Bernstein Bears or whatever the fuck they're called. I didn't even read that as a kid. You couldn't get me to get through a book. I do believe this is what I'm going to get through. I think this is really riveting shit you got, and it's right up my alley. It's all things that I understand and like, so I'm excited to hear it, and I can't thank you enough, man, for not only writing this book, but coming on the show and being a good dude.
Well, look, man, the pleasure's all mine, and to all of you there, I know your reach. I know you're passionate fans. It's a damn cult, and it's awesome. and it means I'll never be able to say enough thank yous that you gave me this opportunity to share.
Marty, stop.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Marty, we're lucky to hear your story. The boys have some questions, though, if that's okay.
Yeah, man, sure. Love to.
Let's roll.
Marty, I got a question for you.
That's the purpose of the segment.
Yeah. it just in listening to you speak here, you are probably one of the most humble men I've ever met. What do you think made you that way? Like, what was it about your upbringing that just made you so gracious and exhibit such great humility?
Before you get started on this, the man that asked that question literally has a tagline for himself that he's the most humble human on earth. He's the best in the world at being humble. That is his tagline, basically.
Pretty good.
So that question for you there is,
well, it takes one to know one, so I see him, and I'm very impressed by it.
I don't know. It's sort of difficult. It took a while. It took me finding self-confidence because one of my greatest insecurities is I like to be liked, and a lot of people just they might not care about that, or they might act like they don't care about that. I genuinely do. I care about that. And as I've evolved as a man, I fortunately have a wife who is my greatest sounding board and such an unbelievable person of perspective about the opportunities I've been afforded, the man I am, all those things. And I also had my grandfather, this is in the book too, my grandfather was the godliest man I've ever known. He was the preacher man in Patton's Third Army in World War II. And just a total stud. And he had this amazing grace about him. And so did I will leave in a minute. Are you guys closing up? Closing up. So I promise 2 minutes I'll be out of here. And it's just, let's just say that
the most interesting man on earth is getting his ass kicked out of a snowball.
I was raised by amazing parents, too, and
That's awesome.
I feel very, very fortunate.
All right, we got like a minute, boys. He's literally going to
1 minute.
Marty, real quick.
1 minute warning.
You have one of the top 2 beard to hair ratios I've ever seen in my entire life.
Ever.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
You just passed Tim Tebow's most inspirational interview that we've ever done on here, for me.
Wow.
Number 3,
Really?
we'll keep it to college. All the things that you've seen in college, all the experiences you've had, what's the most electric or coolest environment that you've been in the college setting?
Saturday night in Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Alabama, Crimson Tide. in town to take on the Tigers, and end of the third. Can you hear that? You guys hear that?
They are trying to get you out so bad.
They play Callin' Baton Rouge by Garth Brooks at the end of the third quarter, and there's 105,000 Pirates just absolutely unglued and so intoxicated. It's amazing. Dude, I showed up to that game last fall, and it was 5:50 in the morning, and I'm getting ready to do a 6:02 a.m. live shot on Sports Center, and a guy dressed like Darth Vader with a handle of whiskey in one hand and a megaphone in the other goes, "Good morning, Marty. Welcome to Death Valley." Whiskey. I love that place.
Well, do you have time for one more? You think? Look around. Read the room. Read Starbucks.
Why not? Why not? Let's be damn road. Go ahead.
Marty, I'm in awe right now listening to you. You're so passionate about so many things, and I love hearing what's important to you. So much so that I'm dying to hear who's your hero.
I have several, but I guess if I was to boil it down to one person, it would probably be my mother. And the reason I say that is my mom died at 47 years old from breast cancer. And the way that she carried herself was unlike anybody I've ever known. She had so much grace. She was the most selfless person I've ever known. And there's a story in the book about her influence on not just me, but some of my friends growing up that encapsulates why I feel that way about her.
Well,
they are hovering. They are hovering. I should probably go.
Let me tell you this, Marty. Your mom, I'm assuming she was very proud, and she's looking down now and is incredibly proud of the man you are. You're a gentleman to everybody you meet. You are incredibly riveting, inspirational. The book is awesome. You're awesome, and I was lucky to be at the same seminar as you, even though I didn't really know what I was walking into. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of so many things, and probably the next, what is the book? The
New York Times bestseller.
New York Times bestseller, Mr. Marty Smith.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thank you, Marty. You're the best, man. Now get the hell out of there before you get beat up by some barista.
You should see how they're looking at me right now. All right, boys. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Incredible interview with him. So thankful for Marty. Send him a tweet telling him thank you. We got a conversation on deck for you that's going to be very good. Wrap up the week's stories. I've been out of town, so the boys and I haven't really got a chance to chat about the things that have happened. And boy, we dove deep into some things. Zito really showed his brain off here in a little bit too.
Thank you.
Speaking of showing off, I wore shorts to the event at night. They had a reception. I wore shorts to it. And the reason why is because my legs look so good. And the reason why my legs look so good is because I shaved them because I got a little bit carried away with the lawnmower 2.0. This device from Manscaped has changed the way I operate. Honestly, I haven't shaved my legs probably since high school. I shaved my legs in high school because I played soccer. I told you this, people would pull the hair on my legs, take that away from them, and I like the way it made my legs look. I have pretty good legs. When you shave them, they look better. Bodybuilders do it. A lot of people do it. But I stopped doing it. Then I got this lawnmower 2.0, and I started with the kit and caboodle, which is nick-free, by the way.
Yep.
This Manscaped kit and caboodle shaver is nick-free. Yes, you heard that right. It is a nick-free technology that allows you to shave the hard-to-shave places with no worries that you could potentially bleed to death.
It's incredible.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's important.
And I don't know how they did it. I honestly don't know how they did it. It is one of man's mysteries since the beginning of manscaping is how delicate you have to be in certain areas so that you don't bleed out. Manscaped fixed that with the Lawnmower 2.0 and the Perfect Package 2.0 kit with their skin-safe technology. It's a trimmer that won't nick or snag your nuts. I'll just lay it out there. Just go in there with confidence. Just go ahead and act as if you're washing a car. Just do whatever you got to do. It's 100% waterproof and shock resistant. Precision tools for your family jewels. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off now with free shipping and a free travel bag that is nice I utilize it to travel with the code PAT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping, free travel bag with the code PAT at manscaped.com. This will change the way you operate. I got so carried away, I shaved both of my legs. So from the waist down right now, I am shaved because it was so much fun. Just literally, it was like I was Bob Ross, just all over. It was like Nick Free. This is like sliced bread potentially for the manscaping.
That big, nice.
What is? Have you tried it
Yeah,
yet?
no.
They sent a
dude.
box to the office full of stuff for everybody. It looks incredible. Can't wait to try it.
I'm ready to
Dive in.
tackle
They
it.
also have the plow.
I have a lot of body hair too.
They have the plow as well, which is a razor that is a little heavy and durable. And I don't razor anything, but from what I've heard, it's same type of thing, just a perfect operation. This lawnmower 2.0 though, you're going to get addicted to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay into this chest.
Space shuttle technology, I heard they used.
Yeah, they did.
It's
pretty
I
awesome.
don't know if you're being serious or not because that would make sense if they did.
They must have.
Rocket scientists must have put this together because it's a problem that has really haunted mans and also ladies, by the way.
Yeah.
Shaving behind the legs, behind my knees. I'm not a flexible guy. It was tough to get to, dude. I was doing a sit. I was doing like a one-legged squat while my one leg was up on the bathtub trying to straighten it out. But the lawnmower 2.0, guide right down there.
And the ankles, ladies always say the ankles are tough.
You know, my ankles don't have a lot of hair on them.
Yeah.
Same.
I think it might be because of like cleats and
Yep.
socks and stuff like that. So I don't have the ankle issue that I have heard about. But the behind the knees thing, I think we should give a lot more credit to the ladies that shave their legs on a regular basis. That is not easy. You got to do like full-on Pilates to get back there. I almost passed out because I had to hold my breath. It's a wild scene. Lawnmower 2.0, manscaped.com, 20% off and free shipping with a free travel bag. That is nice. I think this will change your life. Manscaped.com, promo code PAT.
What an incredible human.
He's good, isn't he?
Wow. Yeah.
He's really good, man. He is. I'm telling you, whenever he would speak at the seminar, everybody, because there would always be side conversations. I mean, there's literally 400 human beings at this thing, right? And you got a lot of personalities in this room too. A lot of people that get bored probably relatively quickly. So there's a lot of conversations, side conversations happening. Somebody asks a question. It's just like in a probably big thing. Hey, did you hear that? Like a lot of that side stuff while the people are talking up in the front. Whenever he raised his hand, or whenever they had this little microphone that I saw on Shark Tank. I literally saw this microphone on Shark Tank like the day before I went there. It's a padded ball that has the microphone in the middle of it, so you could throw it around the room.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the same company, but it was the same concept. The company went into the Shark Tank that I saw. It was a round one. This one was a square one, so I'm thinking it was two different companies. But they were like, it's great for classrooms. Teachers throw it to kids. Kids get confident speaking on the PA. And Mark Cuban was like, no, this is a corporate thing. Like how many schools are going to buy this? No schools are going to buy this. This is a corporate thing. It's basically what Mark Cuban said immediately. And then literally the first corporate event I'm at, literally like less than 24 hours, this thing's getting thrown around. So as soon as somebody would speak into the microphone, you would try to guess who it was. Like, okay, who the fuck is that? Asking that, and you look around, and then I would normally go like, "Who's that?" And Hasselbeck would be like, "Big Boss," and I'll be like, "All right, I'm gonna act like I'm really paying." And then I'd be like, "Who's that?" And he's like, "I'm not sure." I'm like, "All right, me neither." And then that conversation on the side would happen. We'd listen to the question. They would have to repeat it anyways because somebody wouldn't be paying attention. What? So we'd have our side conversation. But when Marty, General, first of all, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for our country and America and just your whole life of service. Like he goes on this whole thing. And literally as soon as that first, General, everybody in the room just kind of slows down. They're like, all right, here we go. Marty's going to ask something interesting. That's what everybody Marty's going to ask something interesting. And he does because I think he's such a curious dude. Like, I just think he's a very curious dude. That's why he builds these friendships. Like he'll ask, like for instance, every time I've talked to Mr. Irsay, I have never in my life talked to him as if he was a billionaire, right? Like, I think I even dropped fuck in the first conversation I had with Irsay. And I think Irsay and I at one point had a conversation about being the last man at the keg. Like, that is a conversation that me and Irsay had early on in my career. He didn't start talking to me until I got arrested and in trouble. And he came over and he wanted to check on me because he's been through his demons as well. And that's literally like how our friendship started is after that. And me and Vinatieri were the only people he would come talk to. And we would literally talk to him as if he was just like a regular guy. And I don't think anybody talks to him as if he's just a regular dude, right? I would assume the same with like Saban, Urban Meyer, all these people that he's friends with. Nobody talks to him as if they're regular humans. Because it's tough to, because you feel as if you're going to offend somebody or something's going to happen. You don't want to, you have so much respect for people. You don't want to step on their toes. But normally those fluff conversations with those types of people, like they've had 4 million of those. So as soon as somebody has like a genuine interest in them, and I think that is the way people are. Some people don't like the small talk. Some people aren't that interested in learning about other people. I am somebody that's very curious about everything. I would like to learn everything about everything. There's people that are not like that at all. And I think he's genuinely just a super curious guy. So whenever he gets a chance to ask a question, he does it. And I think that opens doors for him because the respect everybody has for him is awesome. That's not normal.
And I think even beyond that, I think, and maybe I don't want people to think I'm exaggerating here out of some kind of hero worship thing or something. Just that's the first time I've heard the guy speak, to be honest. Yeah. And he has something that's very special. It's beyond, like, plenty of people are good on TV. It goes beyond that. Like, he's a person that could move worlds with these words.
Really?
There are very few people on this planet that can paint a picture like he does. Like Richard Pryor, I remember, could get that way sometimes. But, like, it's like watching a movie because he puts so much emotion behind every word, and it's with pinpoint accuracy that you can't even speak almost. You're just captivated.
So we do our interviews via FaceTime. It is a groundbreaking, trailblazing move in the podcast world.
It really is.
It really is. I'm not sure there's other people just doing FaceTimes. That's what we do. We just FaceTime people. And about 30 minutes in, every single time, they freeze. 29 minutes and like 47 seconds is how long FaceTimes last for us. And then they freeze, and then we got to call back. And every time we call back, we always have like a quick conversation about the human we're having conversation with because we're off air. And Diggs said, while we were off air, he goes, it sounds like he means literally everything he says too. Like
it's incredible.
It's not like he's a genuine dude.
Very genuine.
Genuine guy.
I don't know. I felt inspired the entire time. You know, he wasn't even trying to inspire us. He was just talking.
Bro, he's at Starbucks, bro.
He's at Starbucks. And I meant it. I was inspired when we talked to Tebow, but it felt like Tebow was actually like trying to inspire us. Like it was like what he was doing.
You think he was attempting to uplift our lives?
Correct.
Yeah.
Marty was just talking, and I felt that.
Tebow looked at us and we're like, these guys need some help. Tebow's a good guy, dude. I like Tebow a lot, but Marty's awesome, man.
You can tell he's just an incredible journalist too. Just like the questions he can ask without coming off as like kind of short-sighted or like over someone's head. Like they just seem like very introspective and like easy to understand.
So it's one of those things where, and I attempt to do it with every human I talk to. Once you can like break through early, if you can break through early with somebody, that's massive. You know, it's like if you can get somebody to get their walls down early, you can get a lot more out of them, right? You listen to a lot of interviews, a lot of conversations. People are trying to break down the barrier with the person for the first 5 minutes. So the questions they're asking are strictly just to get them to kind of relax so they can get more out of them. With him, it very much feels as if, and it might be, you know what? And I wonder if anybody ever told him he should change the way he speaks. That Southern draw, as soon as you hear it, you're just like, oh, this guy's awesome. Like, this is something you don't hear on TV, by the way. There's not a lot of sports people with a deep Southern draw. You don't hear that. You don't hear that at all. So I think the way he speaks and then his accent and just the way he comes off, he's so relatable, likable. I think he probably just breaks through with people very quickly.
I think you're very right. I mean, it's almost seductive, his accent. But then also, I don't know, you're just almost hypnotized.
It stuck out to me when he said he was a writer, and that started to make sense to me because he speaks the way most writers write, because that's the only form of communication or medium they're great at. He's able to put his words into inflection in his voice that makes you like he's writing it almost.
When he said euphoric,
yes,
in the middle thing, I was just like, Jesus Christ. I'll tell you what, that draw hasn't said that word a lot. And I'm saying that with a guy who has a pretty big Yinzer accent. There's a lot of words that old Yinzer That is no disrespect at all. It's just not what you it's just a different dialect. It's a different way of speaking. And he's talented, man. I like him a lot. That whole college football seminar was insane. Them giving me the microphone 15 seconds of walking into that place.
Had to feel pretty cool, though.
Did it?
Well, I mean, like, maybe not at the moment, but looking back, you've been there for one day, and they trusted you to just fucking kick off this thing with all of their talent.
It was in the Sports Business Journal. They wrote an article about it. They were like, ESPN had their college football seminar summit, their annual blah, blah, blah. And then they like bullet points on what happened. Pat McAfee kicked off the seminar with his unique brand of humor. What they wanted to say was he dropped a motherfucker.
But you know what I mean, though?
But I'm thinking, like the Business Journal, whoever was in the room that was leaking information, or if they were actually there, I have no idea. I don't know how that person probably thought that was planned. Like, oh, we announced Pat yesterday,
sure,
got a big pop. Okay, today it's his welcome thing. No, I had no idea. I couldn't.
Do you
even
think that was because of the engagement and everything you got on Twitter, all the love?
People that are listening to the show, you guys are outrageously awesome, man. I mean, it's true. He complimented the following here. We are a very lucky bunch because every side conversation I had with a lot of people there was about building up people's social media, right? So a lot of people come up to me and talk to me about, hey, I want to do more on social media, but I'm scared. A lot of people are scared of it, by the way. A lot of people are very scared of social media because I think you hear about the horror stories and then maybe they'll get a couple of tweets calling them douches or like this guy's terrible or this girl's bad or something like that. And that Dane Cook had a pretty good tweet actually today. And I never thought in my life I would say this. Like, hey, Dane Cook. Big fan of S's, BK Lounge. Listen, I've been there since the beginning. I've been supporting Dane Cook, as did most of America there for a while. So I'm a fan. And I also saw him in that movie where Kevin Costner murders people.
Mr. Brooks, yeah.
That one. That was the only movie on in the hotel, in a couple of hotels we stayed at. I've seen that movie 3-4 times.
Employee of the month, pretty funny too.
Yep.
Yeah, he works at a cash register or something.
Yeah,
Grocery
stock boy.
store. I've seen the trailers.
Good luck, Chuck.
That's a wedding movie.
Everyone that he
Seen that trailer.
everyone that he dates, they get married right after they break up with him. Story of a lot of our lives.
That's
Yeah,
Pretty
I was like
relatable movie.
4 for 4 at one point.
pretty relatable movie. Anyways, so Dane Cook tweeted today, anyone that thinks they can have a lifetime of success without some petty bullshitters, droves of internet-informed naysayers, fucking idiots on the sidelines telling you why you are unsuccessful, I say get out there and show us what you got. It's a grind. Put the work in. So basically, I think he was saying in an interesting fashion, like, hey, everybody is going to have people come after them on the internet. It's just you got dummies everywhere. I mean, it's just the way it goes. Look at it as a society. There's dummies in every society. And I think not a lot of people drive their social media. It's a one-way conversation. It's people talking to them. It's not them talking out. So all they hear is the negative shit because they never put anything out. So I think it's kind of scared some people. But every conversation people had with me was about social media. And I just want to say to the people that listen to this and the people that follow us on the internet, like, I am so thankful. Like, I do not take it for granted at all. I am very, very, very lucky to have the following that I have and that our company has. It's a cool thing. We have a cool little community here. And a lot of people ask how it happens. And I'm just like, honestly, I couldn't even tell you other than, like, you just got to spend a lot of time on your phone. You just got to spend a lot of time on your phone. And your observations of things should be either informative, relatable, or entertaining. And then that's it. And then you just let it go and just let it eat. And you might suck for a little bit. You might lose followers at the beginning because of the whole, like, oh, this guy's tweeting too much thing. But you'll find your crowd. And then whenever you do that, it's a lot of fun. And I think everybody is now starting to really try to take it in. And it was kind of cool to, like, have those conversations with people who I look up to, coming up to me like, hey, how do you do this? I'm like, honestly, I have no idea. I just have a cool group of humans that are behind our operation out there. And the fucking video announcing that we're going to do play-by-play had a 1.1 million views in less than 20 hours.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's insane. It's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. But it is funny listening to people be like, how'd you do that? I'm like, bro, first of all, this is what you got to do. You got to get on the NFL substance of abuse. Okay? You got to get in the program. They're going to test you 8 times a month for 27 months. They're literally going to suck and extract all of the fun out of your life that you knew for basically the last 5 years of your life. Just take it all out of there. They're going to make you not be able to hang out with your friends because when you hang out with your friends, if you're normally the guy that drinks a lot and you're with a group of friends and you can't drink at all, it's an interesting dynamic. So you don't really want to bring down other people's nights. So you just go ahead and lock yourself in your house, go ahead and shut all the windows, and you can turn TV on in the background, but just go to work on your phone. And after 200 and some drug tests later, you'll have a pretty good following. And then you just got to kind of expand on that. But it is a real thing. I view our following as like a family. It's like a team. Every time I send something, I always say team, because that's what we really are, a team. And I hope more people start to embrace it. I really do, because it's a fucking weapon.
Yeah,
it is. You hear a lot of people though at this ESPN thing. It was interesting to hear that there's a lot of like fear almost of social media. Not fear, but like a negative
apprehension.
Yeah, it's like because they've all had probably bad experiences.
Well, you said it before too. There are always naysayers that look at you and go, "Well, he has that following because he punted in the NFL." Yeah. No, there are how many other punters in the NFL and have been since you've played. Look at their followers and look at the difference. Like you put in the work. You reached out and you connected with people.
That is real. Look at wide receivers in the NFL too, if you want.
So, yeah, pretty much anyone.
Yeah, like stud skill position players that get a lot of primetime views and everything still don't have that type of following.
I felt good because that was back whenever they were pushing all these athletes for being funny on Twitter, and they just refused. The company I work for now refused to push me. But here we are. They're all so nice to me, man. There was a lot of people there that were like, "We wanted you years ago." Like there was people that were like. There was one guy who said, "I've been following you since," and he referenced something I did like 5 years ago. He was like, "You did this," and he said it. I forget what it was. It was something very niche. And he was like, "When I saw that and I saw you were a professional athlete, I was like, this guy's going to be a pretty good follow. And I've been with you for 5 years now." I'm like, "Thanks, man. I appreciate it." He was like, "I tried to get you here, but I mean, we're excited to have you."
Well, it's nice to know some people there get it or got it.
A lot of people. It's a lot of people. When I walked into that cafeteria, though, man, I ain't never felt weirder in my life. I'm fucking 32 years old. I am not dealing with this. I literally got a tea. I made a tea in front of everybody. So they had like the coffee, decaf coffee, hot water. I'm not a coffee guy. I'm a beep energy guy. I'm a beep energy guy. None of those in the hotel, in the thing. So I was like, I guess I'll just go with the Earl Grey. My guy Earl, Mr. Grey, and I used to have a relationship before I got this. We'll just hope it'll work out. So now I'm just standing in front of all these people, making my tea at like the front of the. It's like I'm on a stage making my tea. I accidentally dropped the fucking the Splendid thing.
Oh, everyone looking at you.
Kicked it under the table, picked up. I had to, and I just went out in the lobby and hung up on myself. It was awesome. It's gonna be a cool fall, man. We have a much larger, and I mean, Thursday Night Football, primetime college football is a hell of an honor. It's especially now, even more so after what I know now. Like, I'm very lucky to get the job that I got. I mean, a lot of people laugh very hard about, like, you made a real push for that Monday Night Football job. And I was like, yeah. And then once I started looking around the room, I was like, that was probably a bit. I was probably a bit aggressive. I'm looking around people that have like been there for like 25 years. I'm like, but none of them held it against me, which is good. Yeah. But it's massive. I'm very lucky to have that, and we're gonna enjoy it. And I'm gonna try to change. A lot of things were being said, and then my producer would look at me and be like, "Not all of that is for you, though." And I'm like, "Okay, well." Is there a guy that's going to be talking to me up here? Or?
Can I get some private instruction about what pertains to me?
No, I think they very much view, they're like, I think they get it. I think everybody gets it. They're like, let's see if Pat, Matt, Adam, Molly, and a producer named Boiler. His name's Brian Boyle. They call him Boiler. Boiler up. Good guy. We did Wimbledon a couple weeks ago. He's the guy that's going to be doing my show.
Done very well.
Very well. Did good. Good. Shout out Djokovic. If Roger Federer worked out in the offseason, he would have won.
Wait.
He doesn't work.
Did he do the camera shot to Woody Harrelson? What he was?
I don't probably.
The solo camp.
Great call.
Good guy. This guy's talented. You could tell he's been around. But he literally, everybody in there was basically like, hey, I think we're going to try. Like, we're going to try. Like, hey, we're going to try to make this like, we're going to try this, make a new viewing experience almost. That's what it feels like. Like, hey, there's rules here, right? Like, this is what we have to do. Can't talk over this. Got to do this. Lay off of this. That gave me guidelines. But there's a lot of like, hey, like, we very much hired you to be you. Like, and that's
good.
Awesome, by the way. WWE did the same thing, which nobody thought would happen. ESPN's basically doing the same thing. We want you to be you out there.
I thought one of the funnier things of that interview was you talking about how crazy Marty was for thinking he could write a book during his football season, what he's doing. Wait until people hear what you're doing this fall. And I thought in my head, I was like, he thinks Marty's fucking crazy.
Yeah, our fall is going to be a busy one, man. It's let's get back. There is a bigger announcement. Somehow there is a much larger announcement. Just life altering. This one is a very much a life altering announcement that was actually in the works before this ESPN. The ESPN one came in like a 4-day whirlwind, and we had to announce it because of this college football seminar that I was going to. We knew it would get out there. So literally the very high up in ESPN, we're trying to figure out like how they rolled out the announcement because it was all happening in like 72 hours. They said that there was an email with Schefter and a couple other people that were like, Schefter's like, I want to write for the brand in there. That's like his thing, you know, and because it was an announcement of a new hire, so he had to get it okayed, right? That's something he had to get. Schefter can't just make an announcement for Disney, basically. So he had to get it okayed, you know. And he was like, in the email, he's like, I want to put for the brand in there. And then like one exec was like, what does that mean? And then they're like, just Google it. So they had to watch me yelling at my TV. So they settled on for our brand. They were like, here's a meet in the middle. But it was just like, it had to happen because it all happened so fast and I had to get to Charlotte for this thing, which I'm very happy I did. I learned a lot about a lot. So I literally had to be at that thing. And, but the life-altering thing has been happening. It's been in the works for like a month or two now.
At least.
And it happened all from back when me and Foxy went on the world tour. Oh, yeah. Just shaking hands everywhere, meeting people. And we fell into this incredible batch of humans who have a lot of faith in us, by the way. These humans have a lot of faith in us. Mm-hmm. And I said on the Rich Eisen show that nobody wanted me exclusively. Everybody liked me. Nobody wanted me exclusively. My agents called and told me, like, hey, we didn't let anybody get you exclusively. I was like, oh, I thought nobody. They were like, no, you fucking idiot. Yes, everybody wanted you exclusively. I'm like, oh, so I got to change the lingo. They're like, please change. I was like, all right. So we have a couple more massive announcements coming that I am so lucky and thankful. And it's not just me, by the way. It's all of us. The boys and I are about to have a big fall. We're about to have an awesome fall. And a lot of people have tweeted me. They're like, is the podcast going to leave now because you're doing Thursday Night Football? It's like, no, I think we're adding one. I think we're adding one.
Yeah.
And the guests we're going to be able to get for this now are about to be legendary. We're about to get a hilarious batch of humans. And then the studio is about to get an entire HGTV makeover.
Let's go.
People are about to really invest in us. And I cannot wait. I am so thankful and excited. But boy, if I survive past November, I think we're doing it. I think we really did well.
I mean, it's going to be a real test of like, how far can you push a human body?
Pat, your former special teams coach came out today and said you're the hardest worker he's ever coached with.
That was awesome, by the way. Nick tweeted out the video, and a couple of people tweeted it to me, so I had seen it. Like, I'd seen the quote. A couple people tweeted the quote to me. Like, a couple of Denver media who didn't follow me tweeted me the quote. So I was like, that's an interesting. Like, what do you want me to do? You just want me to retweet you there? Like, I don't know. Like, you know, and it was at the end of his press conference. Tom McMahon was the coach for the Colts. He's the one who really got me to become like a weapon on the football field. I mean, he's the one who's was a part. He was the one coaching me during the Pro Bowls. He was the one coaching me during the onside kicks. He was the one coaching me during the things. Now, granted, a lot of those were potentially my call, but he was the one that was really like in the practice days, like really grinding my ass and doing more film study than any human I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally, I thought he was on meth for a while. I didn't think he slept because he would watch film. I would get a text from him like 1:30 a.m. like, Patty, I think I got something for you tomorrow. And I'm like, get there at like 6 a.m. And he's like clicking on the thing. I'm like, did you sleep? He's like, I slept here tonight. Last night. I'm like, jeez. Do you do that all the time? He's like, yeah, mostly during the season I sleep here. And I'm like, you're awesome. So he's a guy that set me up for real success in the kicking game. He had been with the Chiefs. He'd been with the Falcons. He's been around the league a long time. And he's this tiny little guy. And he and I had a great relationship, and he motivated me like a lot. And whenever you motivate me, normally I'll get going. If you can paint the picture for me, right? If you can be like, hey, this is what's possible for you. Okay, let's put a plan together on how we get there. Normally, I'm not going to stop until I get there, right? Like that's if I can see the plan, if I can be like, okay, this is all I have to do to get to here, I will execute that. And that compliment, that's one of the best compliments I've ever received in my entire life from Tom McMahon, what he said in that press conference. I'm going to send him a text. He's probably watching film. He won't text me back until January or February. But it was really cool. And my dad texted me and he said, that's what we do. That's what it is. He said, that's what we do. That's awesome. Nice. And it's real, though. It is. And I said this a couple weeks on the show. It's not easy working here. It's not easy working for me, with me. It's not an easy thing, and it's not because I don't think I'm rude to anybody. It's just because literally every day I am 100 miles an hour every day, and I don't think it's going to kill me. That's why I know I'm going to die young. I know I'm going to die young. It's just science says that the way I act, I am going to die young. This is the way it goes. But boy, we're going to enjoy the fuck out of the time that I'm here.
Now that I know about the painting the picture thing, definitely just gonna hang pictures of fucking islands in this fucking.
Yeah, but you got to draw the plan too. That's where you will falter. I have to see the plan too, and then as soon as you get me to go, oh, okay, that's normally like, for instance, they said, I don't know if I should be leaking this. Lee Fitting, the head guy at the reception, whenever I was there with mingling with everybody, he comes over to me and Matt Hasselbeck, and we start talking. I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, they put out odds that we're going to get a better rating than NFL. And Lee Fitting looks at me and goes, it's going to be a tall task. but he was like, I said, well, whatever it is, I'm going to go for it, right? It's plus 1,500 too. I mean, people are going to make Halloween night, WVU Baylor. I think it's Denver Cardinals. Or something like
Niners Cardinals,
which Niners are big fan base, and if Jimmy G's hot, which tracked like I'm talking football wise, we could potentially, because that could be Kyler Murray too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that could be devastating for us. But if things go mediocre for both of those teams there, which the Niners are probably gonna be great if Jimmy G is there, but let's say the Cardinals, things are mediocre there. WVU plays Baylor in Baylor on Halloween night. I think that is the night that we set up as like the Mega Bowl from semi-pro. Like, you know what I mean? Like tonight we are giving away a car during the broadcast. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is something, like that's the one we should set up, because all you got to do, I just got to beat them in ratings one time, right? I just got to get them one time.
Just once.
And I guess that's going to be a tall task is what I was told, but hey, I'm going to go for it. But they were like, yeah, think of ideas. You should be thinking of ideas during the game and texting them. You could text them to me if you want, he said. And I was like, I'm probably not going to do that.
We could wrestle a bear.
I just want to like, hi, Jackie Moon. But I honestly, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to text you. He was like, any idea you have, man, you should text them and we should talk about them. He's like, Sports Center too is at 6 o'clock. Maybe you do a live hit during Sports Center to pitch it. I'm like, oh, we can really do like that. He's like, yeah, if you have ideas, just pitch them. And if the worst thing that can happen is you get turned down, is what he said. The worst thing that can happen is we say, no, can't do that, right? So it was like everybody from very high up in the company was basically like, for me and Matt, like, hey, you guys just let's do it. Like, you guys just do whatever you need to do. And I'm assuming they're like that with everybody. But it was very welcoming up there.
I can only imagine you cutting a promo for that game.
From the tailgate where the students are.
Oh my God.
Live on Sports Center.
Oh
yeah. And they have the equipment, obviously, to really set that up to look pretty cool.
Exactly.
You know, and all the places we're going, there's a couple places we're going that haven't had game day. Okay, so I think if I'm going live from a tailgate before the game, or me and Matt are going live from a tailgate, I think the way we rile them up is like, say, like, hey, earn game day here. Like, in this hit, earn game day here, right? Wow. So then I'm in the middle of hopefully a pretty ruckus crowd, and it's like, hey, tonight at this place, it's going to be insane. I think it's going to be insane.
I'm watching.
And we are going to have a good time. So if that other game that's on TV gets a little boring, gets a little lull, just go ahead and check us out here. And if we get them, we got to keep them. That's the only thing. And I'm going to have to watch the NFL game directly afterwards, because I have obviously something that's going to happen the next day that's pretty large. But I am excited for this moment and these opportunities. And I'm excited to share this with you guys. I'm excited to share this draft.
We're excited to be a part of this.
Yeah.
I told they asked me, a couple people who didn't fully understand me, they were like, so what do you do? And I was like, great question. I just make stuff on the internet, basically. He's like, you make stuff on the internet? I'm like, yeah, I got like 12 employees. We just make stuff on the internet. You have 12 employees? Yeah. They're like, who are they? I'm like, there's like my boys. And my dad and my brother. Also my boys, but yeah. And they're like, so you just brought your boys along? I was like, yeah, I mean, we added a couple years ago, a couple guys from my hometown. We've kind of gelled well. I said, not everybody fits in. We hang out a lot, but we just make stuff on the internet, basically. He's like, that's the dream. And I was like, yeah, just wait until we make the announcement it's about to come. That's the dream. That's the dream that's coming. It's I'm very excited. And now time for a reading by Zito.
Thanks, Pat.
Hold on, I would like this to be said before we get started. This is not really a read ad for him. It's supposed to be a conversation one, so we've very much thrown him into the deep end. Much like that guy that hit that wave at that wave pool.
Oh, tsunami.
Sent a tsunami into a public park pool.
Hilarious, dude.
That is kind of what we did to Zito right here. I was very scared of that wave pool whenever I was a kid, by the way. I'm not a big water guy.
Good time.
Great time there. I never really got in the water much.
Why do they have that setting?
That's a great question.
I don't know, but somebody got to it. If you haven't seen the video, go check that out because that's what we've done to Zito here. Sam has been listening.
Oh, no. What's she been thinking?
She says that she feels as if you potentially got worse.
Well, let's just tell her this. This is a discussion, so it's a little harder. I'm going to be reading at the wedding. I'm not going to be discussing.
Hey, I think we might... You're not going to be discussing.
Can we get that in written contract that
you will
that
not
we know?
discuss?
Oh, no discussions.
You will not stray from the script.
Yes.
Okay, I respect that. I can't wait for whoever like marries us. And now a reading. Everybody in the audience is going to have a moment. If it happens, by the way, we got to get it the approval.
Come on, Zeke.
This is the one that's going to get you over the hump, I think. The last couple have not been great. I'm going to be honest. The last one, you failed on the first word somehow. I don't even know how it happened. You stumbled out of the blocks pretty hard. But then you kind of found
They were loose blocks, by the way. Loose blocks.
The guy wasn't stepping on the blocks.
Not stepping,
yeah, I understand that. It looked like that.
Yeah.
But not this time. This time is when your next read is your best read. Let's go.
There is 3 different colors on here, so I don't know what color I'm sticking with.
It's color coded.
No excuses.
No excuses. Play like a champion.
Today.
Thank you.
Or now.
I'm going to discuss why bird dogs are so good.
Can't wait.
I'm going to explain to you why bird dogs are so good.
Please do.
They are gym shorts built in with silky soft inner lining that makes underwear obsolete.
Ooh, good word by you, Zito.
Yeah, it comes with it, basically.
Well, it's actually in the shorts.
Yeah, poop catchers.
I don't know if that's how they would like it to be referred to as.
They told me to go off script.
They told me to go off script. They knew that you were going to be reading it. But bird dogs have the inner lining built in, but it's not the uncomfortable inner lining from back in the day. It's like the best fabric
It's the
on
Mercedes.
It is. It really is.
Nice.
I love them.
It is finally short season, which means it is bird dog season.
Damn right.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to talk about how comfortable they are.
Please do.
I'm going to tell you, I wore at the pool the other day. So comfy.
Thanks for telling us how comfortable they are.
It actually is. You can actually use them in every single situation, working out, walking around.
Swimming them. You can swim in them. Mm-hmm. You can go into a meeting with them on.
Oh, yeah.
You could do a podcast with them on.
Play video games with them on.
You can play video games with 14, 15 people watching.
Sometimes 18.
Really?
Oh, yeah, maybe 30. I don't know.
Really?
We've been booming.
Business is booming. Everybody's heard about that Fortnite kid winning $3 million. And they just want to go check out twitch.tv /The Pat McAfee Show. A man spends 6 to 7 hours a night on there with a good 30 to 10 friends on a nightly basis. And we are on the road to the 2020 Fortnite World Cup.
Yeah, we are.
Where Zito is going to bury a teenager and win millions of dollars.
Can you imagine me just yelling, suck it to him?
I don't know if Fortnite would like that on the
They
World
probably
Cup.
would not.
But it'd be a good clip. Hey, content's content.
Yeah.
Speaking of content, when you win that, what are you going to be wearing?
Oh, bird dogs, obviously.
How come?
Because they are very comfortable.
Okay.
And they keep me dry.
And also, if you buy bird dogs right now, what do they also send you?
Oh, let me tell you right now. They give you some nunchucks.
What was it?
Nunchucks.
Nailed it the second time.
Yeah.
You gotta
read the room.
A mulligan.
I think they're pretty cool
They'll
orange
read the paper.
nunchucks too. If I saw them, I think someone sent us a picture.
A lot of people have sent us a
Yeah.
picture of their nunchucks, and they seem as if they are practice nunchucks and war nunchucks.
Yeah.
They have like a little soft to them, so you don't really hurt yourself. But if you need to hurt somebody else, they can't do that. I think they are just like the shorts. They're all-terrain nunchucks, good for any type of situation, just like the shorts.
They're Bruce Lee-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to birddogs.com, enter promo code America, and they'll throw a pair of nunchucks like we were just talking about earlier. Yeah, you heard that right. Nunchucks. They'll give you an actual weapon along with your pair of bird dogs. That's birddogs.com, promo code America, and boom, a free pair of nunchucks. With your pair of bird dogs, you will not take these things off. I promise you. Suck it.
Best one, maybe ever.
I think ever.
Yeah, you had to discuss too. I mean, you don't have to exactly read like when they say explain something.
Yeah.
I don't think. Maybe you get around like I'm going to explain
Yeah.
because I think those are in parentheses.
They're like my Boltons. Marks.
Bullet points.
Bullet points, yeah.
Yeah, bulletins as well. If you want to just kind of put them up on a tack board or whatever.
Yeah.
Up there.
Big bulletin guy.
Yeah, you are. I think so. I'm a big bird dog guy. I wear them all the time.
Actually, am too.
I have become a big time, and I don't want to say it's because it's kind of a lazy situation, but it really is. You can put them on and just lounge around the house, and then if you got to go out and collect some food that's been delivered to you, you can go outside with that. If you got to run to the pharmacy to get some milk or eggs because you're making keto cookies, you can do that. You can just take off the tank top. You're in bed. You can go in the pool. You can work out. They are very nice.
It all plays.
I was wearing the bird dogs whenever I stared down a pterodactyl in my backyard.
There you go.
So you can fucking bird watch.
Wow.
In bird dogs. Anybody ever think about that?
And dog watch. Both of them.
Let's get back to the show, man. It's your first walk off of the day.
I like what you did there with the bird dogs.
Yeah.
Get it? It's all part of the bulletin board.
Material. Immaterial. Anything happening in sports?
There was that whole LeBron controversy.
Wasn't a controversy.
No.
Did you see Nate Burleson?
Yeah, that
I
was
love
good.
his response.
You
What did he
didn't
say?
see it. It literally got 3,000 retweets in like 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Every-
Every
response
tweet
was awesome.
around that whole thing got 3,000
Hey,
retweets.
Bron moves the needle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You might as well just shut down the fucking internet if he's getting on the court of his kids' game. You might as well just shut down. You might as well not tweet. You might as well not post. Bron moves the needle. I don't have a problem with it. I know you probably hate it, Diggs. I like it a lot. And mostly because I enjoy that type of reaction in the competitive field. I think everything has gotten too sterile. Like I think in competition, it's a emotional thing. And so not just Bron doing that, but like I enjoy when people celebrate goals. I enjoy when people celebrate touchdowns. I enjoy when people have a good time. And on the flip side, I enjoy when people are mad. There was a video from the Jets practice where that wide receiver got hit. I could not believe that was not a fight. Just as somebody who has sat on the sidelines of a lot of those practices, as soon as you see something like that, it is almost immediate scrum. Not even, let's not say a fight because everybody's so tired they don't want to actually fight, but at least there's a scrum. There was no scrum there, and I was like, wait a minute. And now I'm like, I'm 2 years out. Do I not understand the current culture where it's like no emotion is better? And it almost feels like that's kind of the case because if you show too much emotion, like LeBron, you're egotistical, selfish, looking for attention. And if you show no emotion, you don't care. So it's like there's no winning anymore, really, with the judgment of your peers on the internet and social media, which I could see this being the downfall. So that's why I enjoy when people just go out and fucking let it rip. Honestly, just let it. Him getting on the court, is it too much? I would assume. I wouldn't do it, but I love that he did. And if I was in that gym, I would be. Hey, LeBron just went on the fucking court. He lost his shoe.
Almost broke an ankle.
Yeah, he lost his shoe on the court. Like that's what sports are, though. Like you can't compare them to surgery. Like I think people compare them to other very real, serious things. It's like sports are competition. Sports are a celebration. Sports are fun. If that happens, just let it ride, man. Who cares?
Well, I'm the same as you in that aspect that I fucking love celebrating. I love all that shit. I just didn't like. I thought if he is celebrating that hard. If he's doing it in the stands, fucking fine. I just didn't like him going on the court because I made him about himself.
Oh, you're saying he took the attention away from his kid who just had an incredible alley-oop.
Yeah, and then he was in the fucking layup line with the team doing fucking dunks pregame. It's not your team.
Yeah, but you don't think that's like dreams for
Oh,
the
yeah,
kids
yeah.
that
I'm
are
sure
on-
they love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like their dream. Well, if they love it, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, also,
that's the thing.
Yeah, like if they love it, who like that white kid he shot threes against?
Yeah.
that was awesome.
That kid will tell that story for the rest of his life. And people are like, oh, he almost loses that kid. It's like, who gives a fuck? The kid that he's shooting with there will tell that story forever. Imagine if Tom Brady shows up at his kid's peewee football practice and he starts throwing goes to kids at practice. Like, are people going to come after him for doing that because LeBron's doing alley-oops?
I saw this argument going around. That exact argument was on Twitter. People were having that debate, and people started to spin it and say, "Well, I mean, Tom's helping the receivers get better then."
Oh, because he's only breaking the hoop.
Yeah,
Yeah, because nobody can do what Bron does in the air. So even if they're throwing alley-oops.
I felt bad for the other team though when he went on there. Like, how do you think the other kids look down the court and they see LeBron dunking down the other end? They're like, "Oh."
I think as soon as you see that roster and it says Bronny on it,
Yep.
you're probably like, well, I'm fucked anyway. I hope LeBron shows up at the game, though, I'd assume. I hope they're like, yeah, maybe I'll get a picture with LeBron. Remember, this is arguably the greatest player of all time. And I said arguably just because I don't want to get into that conversation on Twitter, in here, ever. Just because it's dumb to even do that. Two very different styles. It's two different basketballs.
Exactly.
It's not even the same sport. It's two different basketballs. Do I think LeBron, if he played back then being 6'8", 260 pounds, do well? I would assume. Guy that could dunk from the foul line with probably 30 more pounds on top of him and 2 more inches than the guy we're referring to. I would assume LeBron could play back then, but he didn't. Jordan did dominate back then, so we can't have the conversation. Can't have the conversation.
Can't do it.
So arguably the greatest player of all time.
Well, we know your relationship with Scottie Pippen, too. We don't want to get anywhere near that either.
Point.
Yeah, well, listen.
Scotty carried that.
Good golfer.
Great golfer.
People don't talk about that.
When I'm around, Scottie Pippen plays his best. Me and Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen.
What if he starts inviting you to a bunch of like golfing events? I need you. I need you, Pat.
I've seen him at a bunch of golf. I have not gotten to sit with J.R. Smith will comment on my Instagrams every once in a while. That makes you feel good. Like that makes you feel pretty good.
He's an OG.
And I'll respond underneath like with cry face emojis. I don't fully understand how to work the relationship with J.R. Smith because I think we know each other, but I'm not sure. I think he sees me as one particular way. I'm not sure. I don't know where we're at. So I'll just continue liking his shit until he comes on the show. And then when he comes on the show, I think we'll get, but I'm a big fan of J.R. Smith, the way he operates his life. But Scottie Pippen is not inviting me to anything. But LeBron, arguably greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
So when he's at these events, these are literal forever stories for everybody in the gym. Yeah. Oh, I was there whenever LeBron did that. Because you're not just talking. And I think this is almost because he does the Taco Tuesday and he does the barbershop thing where he opens up and he's very active on social media. He's humanized himself somehow, even though he is an alien. Right? So people are judging him amongst other humans, where LeBron is not another. He is the greatest basketball player of all time. Yes, he is a human. Yes, he shits the same as us. But he is the greatest of all time. He's a billionaire from sports, and he's been famous since he's like 14 years old. This is a whole different animal of a human. So I don't think comparing him to another dad is even a smart decision at all.
I think if his shoe stays on, it's a non-story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shoe falling off. A little Zion situation there.
Yeah.
Do we have issues with the bronze there?
I think a player stepped on it. That's what happened.
I like the purple shoes, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I like those too.
I thought to myself, I normally don't do that. I am a all-white, all-black shoe wearer. I am a very clean dresser. I don't like a lot of things happening. I used to not be. I used to be loud. Then Frank Lucas told me the loudest in the room is the weakest in the room.
Amen.
So then I started dressing a lot cleaner. Like, listen, I'll just let my brain and my words do the work. I don't need the costume to do so. Even though I'll wear jorts somewhere. Yeah, that's regular for me.
Oh, yeah.
But those purple shoes, I looked at them, I was like, I think I'd wear those purple shoes. And then I saw it on the floor. I was like, looks pretty good off the foot. I enjoyed that. Anything in training camps happening?
The NFL starts tonight. First preseason games tonight.
Hall of Fame games tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go. Who's in it?
The Denver Broncos and the Atlanta Falcons.
That's awesome. I got invited to the Hall of Fame by the NFL Legends community.
Oh, one of your texts or emails?
Dear NFL Legend, would you like to RSVP to Hall of Fame? I don't know what they called it. They called it like a cocktail. No, reception.
Oh, yeah.
A reception in Canton, and then I would have tickets to the thing or whatever. And I didn't RSVP, but I read the interview or read the email. And I felt good being invited. But the Hall of Fame game now, that is the biggest tease in the history of the world.
Yeah.
The history of the world. Everybody feels the same way. You watch the first 3 plays, and then you're like, all right, we're ready for regular football to start.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. But I do love that there's live action going on tonight, and I'll be tweeting it. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
100% I'll be watching the whole damn thing. It'll be terrible football.
Yep.
Nobody has a clue what to do, especially the people that are on the team. Might as well just put an all-star team out there. Might as well be the college football all-stars playing against each other. Nobody knows what to do. Because in football, and this was talked about a lot, the general talked about what football meant to him. And he was talking about how, he said, this is no offense to basketball. So anytime somebody leads off with that, you know there's a shot following immediately. He was like, you can have 1 or 2 guys that are good, and your team will be good or great. He said in football, if you have a great quarterback or a great left tackle or a great wide receiver, if you don't have everything else, you're pretty fucked. And that's what preseason football is. There's like a couple people that are very good, and then all you need is one leaky sieve of a right guard. And that guy just lets up everything. You could have the greatest running back on earth, but if he's getting hugged by a 7th round draft pick from LSU in literally the backfield every single time because your right guard who went to some very small school can't keep up, it's like, you got no hope, and you know what the coaches can't do? They can't sub you out because you got nobody else. So it's like, hey, this is our world now. Yeah, for the rest of this game, our right guard is going to give up 45 sacks. So it's because we can't sub him out. We can't put the starter back in. We don't want to hurt anybody. So this is our life now. So let's go ahead and put the quarterback in shotgun. Hope he can just run for his life. Oh, the quarterback isn't a mobile quarterback. Oh, well, we didn't fucking plan for this. That is literally what preseason football is. It never stops, and I'll watch it just because it's football, and I'm so happy it's back. But man, all it does to me every year is just like, oh, I can't wait for a guy to throw the ball 85 yards to a guy like fucking Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball 85 yards. Man, I can't wait to watch a D tackle hit like a fucking double team that he just barrels through. And like, I can't wait to watch the greats be great. But I'm happy football's back.
Michael Thomas got $100 million, $60 million guaranteed.
Held out too.
Yeah.
I enjoy when a holdout works. Normally, what happens in these holdout situations is the agent talks to the team, and the team's like, we're not signing a deal until he comes back. He comes back, we'll sign a deal. And they normally do within like the next 2-3 days, but that's kind of the agreed upon thing. Like, hey, he comes back, we'll make a deal in a couple of days. He actually was like, no, I'm literally not coming back until you sign me. And they're like, all right, we'll give you the biggest fucking contract. Just come, dude. Drew Brees is throwing a ball at blow up people.
So impressive.
We need Michael Thomas. If we can get you back here, that'd be great with the crosses on the face and the Jordans on the feet. Here's $100 million. Whatever we need to get you back in this place, that'd be great. That's awesome for him.
Zeke and Melvin Gordon still holding out.
Yeah, Zeke went to Cabo. You know what? I think it's time to take a trip to Mexico. boys are in middle training camp. What did Jerry just say? Jerry said you don't need a top rusher to win a Super Bowl? Yeah. Well, fuck yeah, I'll go to Mexico.
Power move.
He's doing the Lev move. Lev was riding jet skis.
Hey, Zeke. I think Zeke has a good argument here. Anytime you watch the Dallas Cowboys, the only conversation before the game is can they stop Zeke? And then during the game, they're like, if Zeke gets going, this team's going to win. And then if Zeke gets going, they normally win. And if you're a running back just getting shots to the head, into the ribs, and the shoulder, and you know you're the guy, it's like, hey, man, I would like my money. With that being said, he gets himself in some dumb situations. This is just like when Johnny Manziel was young. I wanted to tell him, like, hey, you're in Cleveland, just buy a big house and just party at your house and just take cell phones from everybody when they come in. You have enough money to do that. And you're going to blow through all your money for sure. On the house, by the way, probably not with the Manziel family, but I'm talking about the NFL. Get a big house and just party at your house. Don't party in public, just party at your house. That's almost what I want to like tell Zeke. Like, hey, I know it can be tempting to go to Las Vegas. Been there, done that. Much smaller scale, obviously, than you. But, dude, if you just party at your house for just like 4 or 5 more years, you'll be able to do whatever you want. Because a lot of people like to have a good time. Like, I think I respect the fact that Zeke likes to go have a good time, even though he's a superstar. But whenever there's that much money on the line, you got to remember, like, okay, I can't be putting myself in dumb situations all the time. Like, I just got to kind of maybe take a break from that. And I had to learn that from a hard way, from an alleged incident. And I think everybody does. But Zeke, man, he's right on the... He's going to get a lot of fucking money.
Yes.
He's like right there.
Yeah.
He's a game changer. He's a real game changer. I'm excited to see what Jerry Jones does. What a fucking savage business move, by the way. Just to be like, oh, the guy's holding out. Jerry wants him back bad.
Yes.
He's like, but he's just letting him. You ain't never win a Super Bowl with a top. Hey, I don't know if you guys are going to write this in the paper, the internet, or if you're just going to text this to Zeke. But let that motherfucker know that I know that you cannot win a Super Bowl, or you can win a Super Bowl without a top rusher. I mean, everybody's doing it every year. You just let him know that. And Zeke was like, well, fuck, I'm going Cabo. And what if he doesn't play all year? That'd be awesome.
Why not?
What if players just start holding out all year?
Yeah, maybe it is the new
Thanks,
move.
Lev Bell.
I don't like it, by the way.
That'd be a real shame if other fan bases had to experience that.
Yeah, that would
with
be
their
a real
star
shame.
running back sitting out an entire year.
It would be a real shame.
Listen to the Yinzers over there. He apologized to fantasy football.
Motherfuckers.
That was hilarious.
I accepted it.
That's who he's apologizing to.
And not Pittsburgh.
Nope. Oh.
What?
I don't know if this was the biggest news of the last couple of days. Maybe it was just in my mind. But Gruden talking very, very highly of
I watched you. You posted this on Instagram. You posted this on Twitter. You were, I mean,
he's my guy.
You were so jacked up. What he said, the Nate Peterman's growing on me.
What did he say?
He said, the Nate Peterman. That's all I know is he said, the Nate Peterman. That's all I had to see. And I was like, this guy.
Hard Knocks is just going to be great.
When is it? It's only a couple days, right?
Tuesday.
Next
Is it
Tuesday, yeah.
Herb Street had an incredible quote. He said, "I just need the Reds to get me to Hard Knocks." He's a Cincinnati Reds fan.
All that fight too.
He said, "I just need the Reds to get me to Hard Knocks, you know, and then it's both. But I just the Reds get me to Hard Knocks, and then I'm off and running."
Oh, God.
Herb Street, by the way, he's a smooth man. He is a smooth man, smart man, respected man down there. And he was asking some real questions whenever other people wouldn't ask real questions in the room. A lot of timid questions. That's why when Marty got it, I think everybody was like excited for the questions. There was a lot of standard questions. Kirk Herbstreit, though, carries a lot of weight in the college football world. He is basically the voice of college football. Friend of the show, by the way. Going to be back on the show probably on a pretty, not a regular basis, but we'll probably have him on a couple more times because he's so intelligent and he is the voice of college football. So whenever he starts asking questions, it's like, oh shit. Like everybody, that's another situation where everybody's like, oh, everybody shut the fuck up. Herb Street wants to know something. This is going to be really good. So then when the people answer, though, they're talking to the voice of college football. So even if it's the refs answering, the way they answer Kirk is like, is that okay with you? You know what I mean? Because Kirk is so well respected, as he should be, because the amount of work he puts in. They talked about his schedule. So we went through like everybody's schedule and everything he does. It's awesome, man. He goes hard.
That's what happens when he's on TV, too. When you hear his voice come on TV, I'm like, all right, everyone shut up. I actually want to hear what Kirk is explaining here.
Yeah, and he's another guy that can be relatable, but he is the pinnacle of college football. He is the guy. And it was awesome hearing him talk out there. He's a good dude. Great dude. Anyways, I think that's it. I've been up since very early. And just like old Marty said, we had some beers the night before. I've had a long day. I was on a lot of vitamins to put me to sleep, and then I got called out of bed to go meet up with somebody that was with him. So I was on cloud 45 when I walked in there. So I didn't have as many beers as the others did, but boy, it was a cool night listening and meeting everybody. That's where you meet everybody, by the way. It's like when you get on a football team, locker room's cool. But whenever you go out with each other or whenever you go get a dinner with somebody, whenever you drink with people is normally whenever you build up a real camaraderie. And that was a cool moment, cool scene. Everybody was so nice to me. It made no sense, dude. It made no fucking sense. I really thought everybody was going to hate me with how big that video got the day before. How big that announcement got. Like, I'm a fucking asshole coming in here. And it was the complete opposite. Everybody was like, welcome to the team, man. So happy to have you. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm legitimately happy to be here. That was what I ended the first speech with after the motherfucker. I was like, I am so honored to be here. I'm so thankful. This is a dream job. I very much understand that. And you're all sitting down, and I'm fucking out of here.
I can't imagine humility. That group of people would be very good at faking it either. Like, if they thought, well, this motherfucker shouldn't be here, you would be able to tell.
There was, I guess, some people... Some of the producers and directors are hilarious individuals. And it was hard to know. Everybody had to wear name tags with magnets, by the way.
Move.
So you put it under the shirt, over the shirt.
I like that.
Watching some of the analysts figure out the magnet was kind of fun when I was sitting out there in the lobby watching people check in when I couldn't go in and eat because there was no seats. I was just watching people check in. Watching them battle the magnet was awesome. That was a cool moment. But you see everybody's name, but they don't have their job underneath. So it's like you don't know exactly who they are, what they are, where they are, what team they're on, everything like that. Some of these producers are hysterical. I walk up to them like, hi, very nice to meet you. I read their name off their chest. And they would say, oh, great to see you, man. I'm like, everybody's been so nice. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, about a week. And just like so sly with it. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that from others. They're like, yeah, the knives will be in the back quick. Anyways, have fun here. And they're like fake walk off, you know? And I was like, oh, my God. I like start sweating. And they come back. And they're like, yeah, we're just fucking with you. And I'm like, thank you so much. Because it's just like the WWE, right? You hear terror and horror stories from the outside. And then when you get in, it's like, hey, man. Everybody seems to be pretty nice here. This is a weird scene here. This is weird because it's not what I expected at all. Everybody's so nice. It's going to be a fun year, man, for all of us. We're going to be busy, though. We are going to be busy, though. It's all right. Not busy, probably falling, if I had to guess. When you're busy, probably climbing a little bit. And that's what we're here to do as a team. Not only people in this room, people listening at home. I can't believe you listen and follow us so much. You're the fucking best. And, you know, I think our life is going to be like a documentary, by the way. So I started thinking about this. No internet on a plane. Fucking perfect timing, by the way. You got to do research on Marty Smith. Excuse me. Can you guys reset the Wi-Fi?
10,000 feet.
We're on an airplane. I know, but every other plane seems, except for a couple of these. No plug-in either.
Oh, come on. So
I was kind of like, it was me and my thoughts again. Just me and Young Jeezy and my thoughts. Because the only playlist I've saved is my gangster one. So it's me, Rick Ross, Young Jeezy, among others, 32,000 feet in my thoughts. And I was like, I like the documentaries that kind of show me the behind the scenes of people climbing, right? That's kind of what we're about to be, I think, because this is my first real, like, the ESPN gig is my first real opportunity in like the main world. Then this one we're about to announce is literally our first big introduction into the real world, and this is something that I would want to see behind the scenes if I was like watching a documentary. You know, this. Oh, I want to see how that happened, either good or bad. I would like to see how that happened, right. And that's basically what our life's going to be here for like the next 6 months.
Pretty awesome.
It's going to be a live documentary every day.
It's hilarious.
It is very hilarious. Whenever you view it like that, it's like that's how people should just have the mindset that our next 6 months is just going to be a great insight on whether or not a group of dudes can make it or not. That's really what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. All the opportunity is going to be there. I think the people are going to really support us in the companies that we're going to work for, all of them. All of the companies we're going to work for. I think they all want us to succeed, and they all have the same goal in mind. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, are we going to make it or not? Like, is it going to happen or not? We're going to find out.
We're going to fucking try.
We're going to give it a go, man. Hey, we are going to give it a go.
Foot on the throttle.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Get out of the way.
Full speed, full time.
Hey, green light.
Quarter mile at a time.
Now we're talking. We don't have brakes. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. We are not a group that should be probably hit.
It's like Brad Pitt said as Achilles when they stormed the beaches of Troy. He said, just reach out and take it. It's yours.
Well, I thought you were going to come up with a better one than that. Gotta be honest.
Don't touch my Achilles, please.
I mean, I'm not Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but you gotta remember he dressed up as that dude one time.
I know.
So that's like a hero of his. By the way, you guys saw that.
Yeah, incredible.
Ty, you said it was awesome. All the movie people have said it's awesome. When normally that doesn't happen, right? Normally the movie people are like, terrible movie, this is dumb. Mm-hmm. All the movie people I feel like that I follow on the internet are all like, this is awesome. Like,
yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people that said it like stunk. They didn't like the story. If that's the case, then go fucking see Hobbs and Shaw this week. You know, I mean, like that's.
Can't wait.
We will bleep that.
Hey, I'm gonna see it. I'm just saying, like, yeah, that movie is not for everyone. It's not. It's long.
What did The Rock do?
No,
why did The Rock?
Hey, I just said I'm gonna see it, but there's two very different crowds that go to both of those.
Oh sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Zito goes to Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I can't wait.
It's for the masses.
Did you see Anthony Davis said the movie Downsizing? He was watching Downsizing. He wouldn't push pause to find out if he was traded or not. Downsizing.
Oh my God.
Listen, me and Zito. Pretty friendly movie critics.
Very friendly.
Very friendly.
Yeah.
Looking for the positive in most movies.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Downsizing numerous times.
3 times.
And hated it every time because I thought I couldn't be beat. I thought there was no movie that I couldn't watch that I could find enjoyment out of. If people are putting money into it and they're writing their lives into this and they're dedicating months and months of their time.
I bought the DVD for the deleted scenes. Hopefully I found
to
the missing.
see the one that's missing.
And it wasn't there.
Are you kidding me?
I was so mad.
Because that's what it feels like when you watch a movie, is if they deleted 3 or 4 scenes out of very pivotal parts of the movie, and there's just no connection.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis was watching that movie, wouldn't press pause to find out if he was traded to the fucking Lakers or not.
That says a lot about
I respect him.
Bro, you're going to play with LeBron James, and you're watching his movie that has 40 more plot holes than fucking Indiana.
Maybe he was looking for that deleted scene as well.
I was mind blown. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, maybe he was like, there's no way. I don't care.
I can wait.
There's no way this movie makes 0 sense. I can't wait to see that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's good.
I like the brand.
And Hobbs and Shaw.
And Hobbs and Shaw, for
Is
sure.
that QT's 9th movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brad Pitt should win an Oscar for it.
Whoa.
He should win an Oscar for every single thing he does.
He keeps getting better and better.
Does he eat in every scene?
Should have won an Oscar for Achilles.
That's what was one of the coolest things in movie history.
Does he eat in every scene?
No,
Not every
smokes
scene.
a lot of cigarettes though.
That guy burns them down.
Big time.
I love that he's
He's drinking a lot. He's drinking a lot. Drinking and smoking.
always doing something with his hand. And he just plays it off. I guess there's some actors that probably can't do that.
Like LL Cool J licks his lips.
All right. With that being said, that is today's show. Thank you so much for listening. Zito with a walk-off, bro. From all of us here, we can't thank you enough. I hope that I've said it enough times throughout my life, but it's honest. I am so thankful. And this fall is about to be full-on insanity. It's about to be pretty cool. I think people are going to enjoy following along with the journey. I think you are. And those Thursday night games, I mean, literal, like, hey, any idea you have, send it. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, let's go. Let's go for it. Because our Thursday night game, it used to be the thing, right? Before the NFL came to Thursday, ESPN Thursday Night College Football, I played in a lot of those games with West Virginia. And we had a very high ratings. Like ESPN, we had something on our wall at West Virginia that was like, 3 out of the top 5 viewed games on ESPN were our Thursday night games, right? Like our team on Thursday night. Like it was big for, and we knew when we were on Thursday night, like, okay, we get to show out now. Like everybody's watching. We're the only game in town. People are like, oh, Thursday is if you played midweek, it was like a knock on your school. We viewed it completely differently. We're like, oh, we get Monday Night Football, basically. That's what we're doing. And we're like 3 times a season. So we loved it. Then the NFL came to Thursday night because I think they saw that, right? They saw what college football was doing. So I think things have kind of dropped off. And now they're like, hey, let's make this a show. Like, and I'm very excited for it and honored to be a part of it.
There was a time, those Thursday night college football games, where there was like 4 or 5 weeks in a row where the number 2 team in the country played and they lost like every single week. Yeah.
We lost in one of those blackouts against Louisville. We're number 3, they were number 5. Louisville just tweeted about it. I wanted to tell them to fucking delete it. That's one of my favorite things is going under tweets that I don't like from big accounts and saying, please delete this. Nothing else. Just please delete this.
Then Steve broke his arm that game?
I don't know. Bush, I know they had Bush, and he was hurt. And he did a lap around the stadium before the game on crutches. And the place was going apeshit. And then they brought out Muhammad Ali. The place was going apeshit. It was a blackout. The game was a good game, and then they stormed the field, and I almost saw a couple little white boys from Louisville get their heads knocked off from some West Virginia Mountaineers from Dade County, and those Louisville guys had no idea who they were sprinting at when they were trying to celebrate in the middle of the field. They were like running on, and we do like the handshake thing. That was one of the only times that I've been on a field that got rushed, not for us, like against us, and it was really. It was almost like a military suiting up for war. We go out, like, do the dap upper thing, massive loss. And when we turn around, we see the student section jumping in, and you see all of our players just put our fucking helmets on. Like, literally, it seemed as if we all, like, just saw them. And we're like, okay, we're fighting. And everybody just put their fucking helmets on. And these massive dudes were walking towards our locker room. And if there were any little white kids wearing black shirts storming that field, those kids, I think they don't know how close they were to potential death. There was a couple kids that were like about to run into. We had a guy named Johnny Dingle. Okay, Dingle was a D lineman from Miami, good dude. Left a year early, didn't work out. He probably should have stuck around if he had hindsight it. But he was a hell of a football player, hilarious individual too. But he was from Dade County now, right? I mean, he's from South Florida down there. He was an awesome guy, but you would like to be friends with this guy, not on the other side. And because if he was friends with you, he was a great guy. But these kids were like running at him and like laughing and like in his face. And boy, I almost saw one guy die. Somebody had to grab Dingle and was like, no, we can't kill him. I thought we were just going to fight. I thought literally our D-line was going to take out 45 kids. And I was like, oh shit, we got to get off the field. And you saw like everybody that worked for West Virginia was like wrangling us up, like get off. Oh my God, don't kill any of these kids, please. And it was a big night. And those Thursday night games, they brought that type of environment because the whole world was watching. We got to get it back to that.
It will.
Nippert Stadium, I guess, is ready to go. Cincinnati. I've been getting tweets from their students that are like, we're going to bring it.
First game of the year.
Let's go. I would like to score student sections too, by the way. And I'd like to, I don't know how it's possible. I'm going to write this up as an idea and text it. I would like to give a championship belt to the best student section that hangs on in front of where they sit, like in front of their section, and they win it for like
That'd
the
be
third.
Awesome.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. They will get behind that for sure.
Make a championship belt.
Yeah, because they want to be the best. They want to be the champs.
Yeah, and if Cincinnati is automatically going to be in the lead after week 1, right?
Right.
The away teams don't get a chance to participate. Kind of sucks. Unless WVU goes down to Baylor, which West Virginia could travel, but Halloween in Morgantown is a great time. So I don't know if that's the case, but I would like to do that because I think the crowd is a character, right? I think that is something the WWE has taught me. Like, anytime they're speaking, if you ever listen to a WWE commentator, anytime the crowd starts making any noise at all, you'll hear the commentators just stop, basically. The commentators are just stopping what they're doing and letting the crowd do what they want to do. It's a character. In college football, that is very much the case. The crowd is a character. And if we can get these crowds on these Thursday nights to do awesome stuff, like, I think that is going to be great TV. Like, I don't want to say I'm going to exploit it, but I think there's a lot of really awesome shit happening in the crowd.
Yes.
That it does get covered in college football. It does get covered. They are a character. But I think that is something that really makes college football great, is the characters. And if the games are awesome, that'd be cool too.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we have a couple great games. Because you heard a couple of the analysts talk, and they were reviewing like the final minute of games that are very tight and like how commentators handle it and stuff. And one of the one of the analysts was like, this is your big payoff, right? You call all the blowouts, so you get one of these games where it comes down to it. And it's hard to manage your emotion, right? Because you got to let the moment speak for itself, but you also have to make it a legendary moment with your words, right? Because those things are going to be synonymous with each other. But he said you handle all the blowouts for that moment. And in my head, I thought about it. I was like, oh, there's going to be a lot of blowouts. That's what that guy just said. That guy just said that there's going to be a lot of games that are just blowouts. But then whenever you get that big one, it's like, okay, this is the moment that we're here for, you know? And that's what ratings normally follow to, by the way, is the good games. We just got to get them there for the bad ones, too.
Well, you've already experienced your blowout.
31-0, man. Matt Prater, hero, bro. Matt Prater's a hero. It's going to be a fun fall. And I'm excited to dive into this book. I have not. And that's not just like a thing I'm bragging about. Like, for instance, this is something I do brag about. Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, Kanye West, Pat McAfee, all college dropouts. Okay? Pretty good list. I'm not saying you should drop out. I'm just saying us four, we did. Okay? And we're doing our thing. I have never read a book.
Me neither.
This is not bragging. This is not bragging. I read a lot of words. On Twitter, I can read. I can understand. I could possibly read a book. But my entire life, I've never found myself to sit down and finish a book. And because I can kind of memorize certain things, I was able just to bullshit my way through book report conversations and Q&A for, oh, what happened in the Hatchet last night? Oh, it was crazy. I had no idea. I bullshitted my way through it. So I was never, I never stuck to it. And B, I never had to because I got through it. So I never, West Virginia, if you're on scholarship, you get a box of books. That thing was handed to me taped, and it was returned with the same fucking tape on it. I never even opened the boxes. I was like, by the time it got to my junior and senior year, I just told them to keep it. Like, I don't want to lose them. I know it'll cost us money. Just hang on to it. I'll figure it out, man. Yeah, I'll get somebody else's or something. I'll figure it out. This one, though, I think is going to be good. I think it's going to be legit. Just from like, he's the most interesting human on earth.
Well, I think that's easier too because it's not a novel. It's like the chapters are fairly short, so it's like a bunch of self-contained stories almost. So it's not like you have to get like you can read a certain story and be like, okay, I can stop there for the night, and then you pick it up again and it's a new story. Like it's put together really well.
Is there any pictures?
No.
Really?
Not that I know of. I didn't see any.
Wait a minute.
I need like 4 photos at least.
That's it. You know what it is though, Foxy?
Yeah.
It's double space.
Oh. What does that mean?
It's like double space 14 font here.
The periods
makes
are
it
20.
easy.
The periods are 28 font.
Foxy.
It's an enjoyable read.
Hey, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone use double space.
There are pictures.
With a
Oh,
tweet.
let's go. I'm reading
okay,
it.
there you
I
go.
just found pictures. Here he is on Saban's boat with Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, Nick Saban, and him on a boat. He seems to be holding a drink of some sort. American flag on the back of Saban's boat. Good for him.
America.
Here's him and Brandon Williams next to the Brooklyn Bridge. Brandon Marshall, sorry. That's on me. Yeah, there's a bunch of pictures in here. Oh,
I can't wait.
It's a whole
it
picture
legitimizes all the stories.
There you go.
I'll read those pages. And the other ones too.
You'll read the pictures.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
A picture has 1,000 words. 1,000,000 words.
Picture is worth.
Yeah.
It doesn't have them. It's worth.
That's on me.
No. It's on the picture. It's not on you. I'm going to dive into this, I think. I think this might be my peacetime. Here's him and Eric Church at a fishing tournament he wrote about in the foreword. We were kids then. It's literally them holding two. I mean, those might be fucking alien fish. These things are 45-pound bass. I don't know where they're catching. That's a stocked lake for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Here's him and a Boston police officer because he ran a marathon.
Done a lot.
He's a fucking wild animal. I'm going to read this book. Thanks to him for coming on. If you could tweet him and tell him that, we'd appreciate it. If you could tweet us and make us laugh, you win free merch. That's the game. You tweet us and make us laugh, you win free merch. All you got to do is tag at Nick Moraldo, at Diggs with a Z. Maybe by the end of this fall.
Get that S?
I think so, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. Hey, there's your plan, right? There's your goal. That's the plan.
Last time I checked, a corporation has it, but if that corporation has probably gone under by now,
that's what I'm
maybe
saying.
I'll get that.
So there's your goal. We'll get you the plan.
Give me that fucking S.
What are they, a Fortunate 500?
No, they were not a Fortunate 500.
They're a Fortunate 500. Very fortunate.
Hopefully they're unfortunate 500 now.
At Viva Lazito, at Tom McComas, at Ty Schmidt, 1T there at the end, and a season there. At Evan Foxy, at Billy, and yeah, make us laugh and get some merch. And we got some new shit coming out. Mm-hmm. Old Phil, by the way. Old CFO Phil has got a lock and key on that merch department. Every once in a while, I'll get an update. Like today, there's a brand new tank tops. They look good, by the way.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise.
I don't know who's all doing the designing, and this shit just shows up in my life, and I'm very happy that this is how it's become, by the way. It used to be very hands-on process for all of us with the merch, which we will still do for big things, right? There's still things like that. But for just I need to update my wardrobe. So that's basically what they're doing. Is they're just trying to update my wardrobe, and then we put shit up for sale. And these things just showed up in our lives today, and I'm like, oh man, I'm happy these are coming out. Good for us, man. CFO Phil's got that under lock and key over there, and we got a new shipping option.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? We have a new shipping option.
Yeah,
we're glowing up. We are glow. This is the glow up here, and everything's 20% off right now. Hashtag Thursday Night McAfee. Buy everything you can get. There's an analyst shirt on there. Probably gonna wear that night one, if I had to guess. It's in quotations because I am analyzing things. Make us laugh, get some merch. Other than that, Heartland Radio 2.0 is manana with some Friday bangers. Tweet us some suggestions too. What's the theme this week?
Ooh.
If you want a theme, we'll do a theme.
Oh, I know what we should do.
I would like a theme.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a theme. Your wrestling entrance music.
Okay.
That'll be the theme for
Wrestling
this week.
intro
SummerSlam's
music.
coming up.
For your own.
If you were a wrestler in the WWE, what would you come out to the ring to?
And I will take suggestions on what you think mine should be because mine has already been played. I was like, listen, I'm not expecting you guys to ever let me do this. I don't know if my body can handle it. But if it ever arises, that's how I kind of presented it to. It was either Cole or Mr. H. I forget which one. I was like, oh, that's how I want to go. And I want to come out of the top. I want to be up in the top tier with my people up there. They're like, well, how will you get down? I'm like, maybe a fire pole. They're like, okay, so we got to put a fire pole in every arena for you to come down from the rafters, basically. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of yeah, you guys have done crazier things, right? Haven't you? They're like, is there like a little bit of a, back in the day, there was no security. Like we kind of were allowed to do that. Now, if you were to get sued or somebody was to hit you, it would be a big deal. But like, my people won't hit me up there, man. My people won't hit me up there. Like, well, what are you going to do up there? I'm like, to be honest, probably smash a beer with somebody up there. I'll probably have some popcorn, and then we just kind of come down from the top. What would that be called? The
rafters?
The upper deck.
Upper deck, yeah. Come down from the upper deck. As the music's playing and the lights shoot on, I'm in a different spot of the arena. Does that make sense? So I'm like the Sting meets the Sandman meets Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah!
And then I get to the ring. Hey, they didn't say no. I think the word Cole used was, that'd be an interesting entrance. And I think he said, you've thought about this, just like you guys did. I was like, yeah, I just think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what I would do after that. I think that'd just be a pretty cool little moment there. They're like, yeah, that'd be a pretty dramatic entrance. I'm like, yeah, me, Undertaker,
Imagine the upper deck just waiting for you, like looking around, like, where's he at?
Where's he at? Where's he at? And then there'd be like, the lights would go black, and then I go up there. I think it'd be cool. Probably couldn't do it due to it being 2019. Just
Yeah, but maybe a jet board.
They aren't for sale yet, but I am on a list. I am on an email list for as soon as that thing goes up for sale. The guy crashed, though.
He did. Yeah. But it wasn't his fault. He wanted to fly across.
He's the one that made it.
He wanted to fly across.
He created the flyboard.
Listen, he wanted to fly across the English Channel. He wanted to refuel midair while he was flying. They wouldn't let him do it. They said he had to land on a platform out there in the water. When he tried to land on the platform, the wind gusted, moved the platform, and he crashed into the water.
Oh, so he didn't crash. The platform crashed.
Ipso facto,
depends on his
he didn't
story.
crash.
By the way, I'm very proud of this show being an grammatically correct ipso facto
Of course.
show.
Oh yeah.
I always thought it was if so. Turns out it's not.
What?
So, you know, I lumped you into that too. That's on me for assuming that you knew it was ipso. All right, make us laugh, win some merch. Also, send in suggestions on, you can send them to individuals, obviously, on what you think a good entrance song would be. I think mine's pretty well mapped out, but I'm open to another one. I mean, let's always have backup plans.
Interesting you went with an emo band.
I know. I didn't know that. I don't know anything
But
about
that
them.
song rocks, man.
It does. I have never heard the words. I've never made it past. I have never made it past 30 seconds of that song. I just hear the first. I'm like, all right. And then normally when I'm with people, I rewind. I'm like, all right, think of this. Lights are hitting right here. Lights are hitting right here.
Did you find out Pandora on your I
forget how I found it. I think Nick sent it to me. Yeah, I had some other song I wanted, and then Nick was like, Nick sent me like a cluster of songs, I think, and that was my first time ever hearing the Cambria group. What are they called?
Coheed
Cambria.
Yep.
Yeah,
good font.
Cambria. Is that your favorite, or which one's your favorite?
Comic Sans.
Comic Sans is like the classic elementary school.
Chalkboard duster.
You're a fucking idiot. Have a great day. Happy Thursday. Big thanks to Marty. Send him some thanks too. And buy his book when it comes out. I'm assuming it's going to be incredible. Ty Schmidt, hit the music.